Caesars Pizza Pregame Challenge. Enjoy your Little Caesars favorites and earn our best game day rewards. Open the app, accept your challenge, complete your challenge, and earn your reward. Accept, complete, earn, repeat. Little Caesars, official pizza of your Philadelphia Eagles.
Pizza.
Purchase required for reward eligibility. Must be 18 plus and legal resident of the 50 U.S. states, including D.C., and have an account on the Little Caesars app. Available in the Little Caesars app only and at participating stores. See littlecaesars.com/challenges for details.
In Philly, we go all out for what we believe in. And at Lincoln Financial, we're no different. Since 2003, we've been proudly flying alongside Eagles fans everywhere. Since 1905, we've been helping Americans with retirement, protection, and benefit solutions built to last. 120 years in, and just like the birds, we have no plans on slowing down. Lincoln Financial, the name behind the Linc. Lincoln Financial is the marketing name for Lincoln National Corporation and affiliates, copyright 2025.
We've all been there. You hold onto a coupon, hoping to cash it in at the store, but then you forget about it. And suddenly you've got a mountain of useless expired coupons.
Do you think this one's still good? Free milk.
Oh, mate, that expired in 1993.
Dang it.
Fortunately, there are better ways to save money, like by switching to Geico. You could save about $900 on car insurance without ever touching a coupon.
Ooh, how about this one? Half off floppy disks.
Now, you should try a bit of spring cleaning.
It feels good to save big. It feels good to Geico.
Dear Eagles fans, Toyota's a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles and official automotive partner of the NFL. The Toyota Corolla and all-hybrid Camry make big plays with style and efficiency. RAV4 is a versatile game changer. Highlander's got room for your whole squad. And the rugged Tacoma and Tundra control the line of scrimmage. Visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
At Planet Fitness, no two members are alike, but they all have one thing in common. They're all strong. Feel your strongest with the Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any of our nationwide locations. Bring your friend anytime you want and recover from it all in the Black Card Spa with their hydro massage and other innovative amenities. We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness. Find your nearest club and join today. See Home Club for details.
Hey, Philadelphia Eagles fans, when you bring Hellman's creamy buffalo chicken dip to the watch party, you can be a couch coach and cheer too loud. Or worse, bring a friend who knows nothing about football, and no one will eject you from the game, because when you do dip with Hellman's, you can do no wrong. That's a Hail Mayo. Hellman's, the official mayonnaise of the Philadelphia Eagles. Bring out the best.
94 WIP HD1 Philadelphia. Sports Radio 94 WIP presents the Eagles Radio Network.
The Eagles outlasted Buffalo.
It's a really good opponent over there. It's a big-time win.
Now, before the playoffs, they wrap up the regular season at the Linc.
You want to go out there and try and end things on your terms.
Against the Washington Commanders.
Today's game is sponsored in part by PNC Bank, Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems, your Delaware Valley Honda dealers, Verizon, and Piazza Auto Group. You're listening to the Verizon Pregame Show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
To the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. We are at Lincoln Financial Field for the regular season finale alongside Ike Reese, Hugh Douglas, Elliott Shore-Parks. I am Joe Giglio. Eagles Commanders. Get excited, everyone. Well, we'll be excited next week. Ike, how you doing?
Let's go, Birds!
Let's go!
Let's go, Birds!
How are you, Ike?
That was that false enthusiasm. Man, that ain't false enthusiasm.
We got a football game here, Hugh.
Today,
it's a big one today. Today could decide the season.
Trying to get the 2 seed.
Well, I'm saying if they get the 2 seed today, that's a huge thing.
Well, if they wanted the 2 seed, they'd play their starters. I mean, that's
no, you know what?
Honestly, they got Tanner time in there.
Yeah, it's Tanner time, and we're gonna see what Tanner does. It's going to be one of those games, man, where we're going to sit back and we're going to evaluate and critique everything that we see from this game.
Well,
we
will.
It's going to be a dub. It's going to be a dub, though. We're going to get this dub.
It better be. Because if they lose this game and the Bears lose and they miss their shot at the 2 seed because of that, that is a massive mistake by this team.
All right, let's start there, Elliot. So obviously, when it's done, we'll know what happened, right? And we can react to it. We don't know right now. Did the Eagles make the right decision? Ike, where did you come down early in the week? And obviously it's evolved here. It reminds me of last year, but it was different. Last year was about Saquon, and the Eagles chose rest. This year it was about the number 2 seed, and they chose rest. Ike, did the Eagles make the right call?
Yeah, as it is customary for me, I'll go to my grave. Saquon and the offensive line should have played last year.
100%.
Record.
Yeah.
So I'll stick to that. You know, this was a little bit different because at the beginning of the week, I was 10 toes down that they should play. They should be trying to get the number 2 seed.
Yes.
And as the week went on, you know, I guess I got swayed a little bit to where I could see it's not so much about the rest part for me. I understand resting guys that are banged up. It's just that I almost believe that the Eagles can beat this team with their backups.
Well, they are 3.5-point favorites in this game, which says a lot about both teams.
So that took a little bit of the venom that I had early in the week when I was like, no, you got to play. We got to win the number 2 seed. They still may be able to do that, considering Josh Johnson is starting on the other side. So I'm not as hell bent on the starters should play today. Just because I believe the Eagles are still going to win the game regardless.
So I think this is the right decision. Mostly for me, 2 things. One, they don't control it, right? The Bears have to lose, otherwise it doesn't matter.
Yep, you're
and
right.
The other thing is 2 years ago, they were in a similar situation. Now, the Cowboys were bigger favorites that day 2 years ago than the Bears are today, but they needed someone to lose. They needed to win.
And that was still a game for a half.
A.J. got hurt.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about that
Dallas.
Cowboys-Washington game was still in doubt.
But it was similar, and A.J. got hurt. Jalen dislocated his finger. It was a disaster. They called the dogs off at halftime. It was like they were halfway in. So I think this was the right call. Elliot, it sounds like you think – well, tell me what you think, but you obviously think it could go the wrong way for them.
So, look, I do think they can, and I think they will win today with Tanner McKee. I think Tanner will play well. I think the Eagles have incentive to win. Washington is already planning their vacation. So I do understand you can take a bit of a risk. But what I don't like is being down at the facility all week. I don't sense that they cared too much about getting the 2 seed. I think they flat out picked rest over the 2 seed. And to me, that's a mistake. The 2 seed is a huge advantage to this team because I think the one game that they could lose is at Chicago. Chicago is the toughest game they will face in the playoffs, in my opinion. I think the Rams coming here will be difficult, but going to Chicago pokes at 2 very big weaknesses on this team. One, they can't handle the cold, right? We've seen it all year. The offense cannot handle the cold. And 2, pre-snap, they are sloppy when it comes to communication, and Chicago will be a loud environment. So I get what they're saying in terms of resting guys and you get a week off and you feel fresh. That's all good for the first week. But the second week, when they potentially have to go to Chicago, that could end their season. So to me, I would have done whatever it took to win the game today. It might work out either way. But if they go to Chicago, that is a really tough matchup they could potentially avoid today.
It would be. Hugh, I know you were pretty strong when we were on early in the week that the Eagles should play their starters. Where you at now?
I'm still with that. I still think they should have played, but I will say this. When Dave sat down here today, Spadero, he made a compelling argument about getting everybody healthy and everything.
You got swayed by Spadero.
I mean, I get it.
What was it?
I definitely get it. He was just talking about how guys have been banged up and, the offense hasn't been playing well. But, man, listen, my biggest fear is the offense has not had continuity all season long, right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking about taking another week away from, which I understand, with everybody being banged up and everything, and you're expecting to have continuity in the playoffs.
Well, who's banged up on offense?
Well, he's just talking about just the offensive line being hurt and the fact that, guys have been banged up coming out.
Yeah, he kind of
Hold on. Jordan's not banged up.
So Dave's point was the attrition of the last few years of all the playoff runs.
Yeah,
all that.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
That was the spin.
Tired.
They're tired. That was it.
But in my mind, I'm like, man, y'all got to play because y'all have not been playing well all season long. And this is what – to be honest, for me, this is what you sign up for when you play football.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the nature of the beat. Getting paid handsomely.
So I don't think that today the way they played could have made a big impact in who this team is. I think we have to accept who they are at this point.
Exactly.
That's who they are. But I will say to Hugh's point, I do think some positive momentum today could have been a benefit. That win in Buffalo, they can feel good about it. They can say they feel good about it. The offense was terrible in that game. Really only Jalen.
Only for a half.
In the first half, they didn't run the ball great, and I thought
they ran okay.
It was okay, but it wasn't. Yeah, they were fine in the first half.
Jalen?
I thought Jalen.
I got to blame it on play calling in that second half.
No, I'm saying Jalen was good.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Jalen was.
I thought Jalen was bad.
Hold on.
Okay.
I thought Jalen had a good game. Jalen's the only reason they won that game on offense.
A good game.
Yeah, good game.
Yes, Joe.
His
Yes.
completion percentage was in the 40s.
Because nobody was open.
Yes.
And I never say that, but that was the reality. When I rewatched that game,
I agree.
Guys were not open.
Yeah.
Right? Like normally when their offense struggles, it's because Jalen holds on to the ball. That
Are we
wasn't
lowering
the
the bar to 0 for 7 in the second half? We can still call it a good game.
Saying,
I mean,
man.
God,
he outplayed Josh Allen.
That's for sure.
Because the Eagles' defense is on feist.
No, he outplayed Josh Allen because Josh Allen was running 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage like a chicken with his head cut off.
Right.
Fumbled the ball.
And he did.
I am willing to entertain that his
took
game
bad sacks and missed a wide
You guys
open
are wild.
receiver.
I'm willing to entertain his game was not bad because the conditions and the elements and everything. But to say good.
Yeah, he was good.
I thought he was good.
He was good. He won the game. He outplayed Josh Allen. Like he carried the offense up and down the field in the first half. He did. Who else on the offense had a good game? Who else on the offense had a good game?
But when you carry a team that has
A.J. Brown
13
had a pretty
points, that's
decent
nothing
game.
to feel great about.
I'm not saying he should be in his Hall of Fame case. I'm saying he
I
played
think you're putting
good.
it there.
So like that's the only thing I would agree with you on is if they would have played today, I think there could have been a chance for some positive momentum heading into the postseason because they didn't get it in Buffalo.
So here's my counter to that. Has the positive momentum against bad teams mattered at all this season? They had it in October, right, against the Giants and the Vikings and all that. And then they went into November and they stunk it up post-bye, right? They had it in the beginning of this month, Ike.
Right.
Raiders
Yeah, I agree.
and Commanders.
Yeah.
And then they went to Buffalo, and whatever word we want to use, it wasn't great.
They are who they are.
Yeah, like it seems like the
I
momentum
agree with
against
that.
bad teams doesn't really carry over to the good games.
Yeah, I
the
agree
good
with
teams.
that.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I think this was the right move.
I got one other little nugget I'm going to throw in here that's in favor of the Eagles and what they're doing today. I wouldn't be shocked if the Packers go to Chicago and win that game.
Yeah. Third time.
That's
See,
a third.
I would be
That's a
surprised.
divisional opponent.
Oh, next week. In the playoffs.
Next week.
Yeah,
in the
gotcha.
playoffs. It's
Yeah.
a divisional opponent. The Packers are the experienced team.
Yep.
They've been in the playoffs 3 straight years now, and have won on the road in big games. Like it wouldn't surprise me if they beat Chicago in Chicago.
Both those games, too, and they played this year, went down to the final play of the game.
Yeah.
And the other thing, it's similar to this. The Packers have created a bye for themselves this week because they're locked into the 7, right?
Yep.
The Bears are playing today.
Yep, because they need to win
So
to get the 2.
the fresher team next week could be Green Bay.
Yeah, I think the Packers, to Ike's point, are getting the Bears in a good spot. Like the first playoff game, I think is tougher.
Yep.
They don't have a ton of playoff experience.
Yep.
I think it's that second one that the Eagles will potentially face them.
Yes.
That would be tougher.
If they were in that second round,
they
'cause-
already have a win
Yes.
under their belt
Yeah.
and all that. So, no, I agree. The Packers could beat the Bears. I think the Eagles are making a mistake in not valuing the 2 seed at all. Like to me, it sounds like they are clear cut. We value rest over the 2. In the 2 seed, look, as great as Nick and Jalen are, and they are great, they've never won a road playoff game. And both
That's
times
true.
they've gone on the
Yeah.
road, not only have they lost, they've been embarrassed.
Been bad
in both of those
losses,
games.
yeah.
So
Man.
I do think those are circumstantial to an extent, right? You can look at both. 2021 was their first year together. 23 was a disaster. But it's still the reality that this franchise has never gone to the Super Bowl while winning a road playoff game. They've always been home straight through. So just to completely dismiss the 2 seed as if it's like, we'd rather have the rest, I do think is a mistake.
Well, the wild part about that is they broke their way last year, right? They weren't the one, and they broke their way. Now, it could break their way again this year. We shall see. Chicago's an untested team if they're the 2.
Mm-hmm.
I know we fought about Seattle all year, but
now that would put
Seattle
us.
looked good last night.
Seattle looked very good.
That would also put us against the 4 or 5 winner, because Green Bay would go to Seattle.
Green Bay, as the lowest seed, would go to the 1.
Yeah.
So we would get
The 4 or 5 winner.
Probably the Rams.
Probably the Rams.
Yeah,
And if
but at least it would be here.
It would be.
Yeah.
Which is a huge advantage. All right, coming up on the other side, we talked about some of those teams. Let's talk about who we want next week, because today will affect who the Eagles will face next week.
Yeah.
3 possible teams: the Packers, the Rams, the 49ers. We'll dive in it next. This is the Eagles Radio Network presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Tis the season to get a great deal at Toyotathon. Hurry in to your local Toyota dealer and give yourself the gift of great value on a new Toyota. Unwrap these deals before they're gone. Visit Toyota.com for more information.
It's time to get focused. Focused on improving the lives of our beloved pets by feeding them the most nutritious pet food on the planet. With 2 decades of experience, the Dogs and Cats Rules stores can guide you in the right direction to meet your pet's needs. Fads come and go, but there's no substitute for premium meat inclusive food for your pets. If you changed your pet's food lately and they're starting to look like a shaggy dog, smelly ears and biting their feet all the time, you need to come into one of our 7 very convenient locations or visit dogsandcatsrule.pet.
The working families of Laona Labor District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
It's a long season, but one thing is sure. Birds football is sure to make your heart skip a beat. But that flutter you feel in your chest could also be something else, like AFib, atrial fibrillation, a serious heart condition that needs expert care from an all-pro team like Deborah Heart and Lung Center. One thing is certain, all season long, Team Green is sure to make your heart flutter, maybe even skip a beat now and then. Just remember, when it's your heart, you don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org. Go Birds.
Piazza Premium Automobiles is proud to serve as the halftime sponsor of the Eagles radio network as the team drives for another championship. Experience the ultimate luxury in a new or certified pre-owned vehicle from Piazza Premium Automobiles with exclusive brands like Land Rover, Jaguar, Porsche, BMW, Infiniti, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and Mercedes-Benz. You are sure to elevate your drive. Find the Pennsylvania, Delaware, or New Jersey location nearest you. Visit PiazzaPremiumAutos.com.
Know what's below, because even minor excavation projects like installing a mailbox, building a patio, or putting up a fence could do major damage. Contact 811 before you dig, or visit PA1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
Merrill Reese here to talk about my friends at NovaCare Rehabilitation. Being an Eagles fan is serious business with no time for aches and pain. The physical therapist at NovaCare will help make sure you stay healthy, active, and doing the activities you love, like cheering on the Eagles. With more than 150 convenient locations throughout the Delaware Valley and South Jersey, visit NovaCare.com to schedule an appointment. NovaCare is the official physical therapy provider to the Philadelphia Eagles. Experience the power of physical therapy. This is Merrill Reese. After years of calling every thrilling Eagles moment, I know the value of a strong connection. That's why I'm partnering with Verizon and just made the switch. Crystal clear calls, lightning fast speeds, and reliable 5G network. Verizon keeps me connected whether I'm in the booth, on the go, or streaming game highlights. Make the call like I did. Switch to Verizon today, because when it comes to coverage, you want the best in the game.
When it's game time for your business, trust Brady Plus to get you across the goal line. As a national distributor of janitorial, food service, and industrial packaging supplies, we equip your team with the right gear and the playbook to match. Fast delivery, reliable products, real pros who know the field. At Brady Plus, we don't just deliver boxes. We're calling winning plays. Visit BradyPlus.com. That's BradyPlus.com. Proud partner in sustainability of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The pros know nobody beats FW Web. With extensive inventory, personalized service, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast, FW Web supports all customers, from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Web has what you need, when and where you need it. For plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, propane gas, and PVF jobs. With over 100 locations, visit FWWeb.com to find one near you.
This is the Verizon Pregame Show on Eagles Radio.
Welcome back to the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Alongside Ike Reese, Hugh Douglas, Elliott Shore Parks, I am Joe Gilly. All right, guys, let's dive into, and we'll get to some of today's game coming up. We know it's going to be mostly backups.
Yeah, let's break it down.
Yeah, we'll get to inactives, but I think a lot of us are curious on what next week is going to look like. So. Yeah. Let's roll through the preferences here. It is, of course, what's on the menu, sponsored by Hatfield. Better care, better pork. Head to simplyhatfield.com to find a retail location near you. Okay, before we get into this, Do we all agree we'd rather be the 2 and play the Packers like that?
Yes.
All right, so that's the number one option.
Let's start with that.
All right, so we're all there. But if that doesn't happen, Eagles are the 3, and there's only two teams they could face. Ike, it would be the Rams or it would be the 49ers. Now, if the Rams win today, it's going to be the 49ers. If the Rams lose today, and if they try, I don't think they're going to lose. They're playing the Cardinals. But if they lose, we would get the Niners. What's your preference?
The Niners. Without a doubt, the Niners.
They've been scoring a lot of points lately.
I got respect for Kyle Shanahan and his offense, but I'll take our defense at home against Brock Purdy. I just will. I understand the last time they played, it didn't go our way, but I don't see Debo over there. You know what I mean?
Ayuk.
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk.
Who was the linebacker that's hurt this year?
Warner, Fred Warner.
Fred Warner, Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
None of those guys. So
he said he got the
You're not afraid of Bryce Huff?
Yeah, you don't have those killers over
the
there.
Bryce Huff revenge game for Hugh.
He ain't got them drive-by shooters over there.
So I'll take my chances against those guys here.
I agree. I think it's not even close. And again,
I'm trying to avoid the Rams as long as I can.
Me too.
So I agree. I agree. It should be the Niners. Let me just present the case for the Rams. Though,
okay.
So in a world where it's the Rams, they will have lost to the Cardinals today. They would be 2-4 in their last 6 games.
Okay.
One of those wins.
Wait a minute, hold up. They losing the Cardinals?
What are you saying? That's the only way we play them.
They will have lost, right?
Okay.
The one of the wins they had, they were down, I think, 14 points to the Lions and had to come back.
Yep.
And for what it's worth, the Eagles always beat the Rams. Like, they have beaten them 3 times in the past calendar year. I don't think Nick Sirianni and Jalen have ever lost to Matt Stafford and Sean McVay. Wow. Devontae Adams is hurt. And I think that with the 49ers, there would be a level of where you're not as familiar with them. With the Rams, you know what you're getting, right? So I just think the talent on this team would win out. So I would prefer the Niners, but I do think there is an argument where if it is the Rams here next week, like, it's the toughest matchup, but I think the Eagles should feel good about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. The one
good
point
argument, E.
Yeah, it was good. Well,
That's
especially when you threw in they'd have to lose today to the Cardinals. Like,
Right,
if they
everyone's going to feel
beat
very different about them if
Yeah.
they're actually coming here this time next week.
Yep.
That
would be the argument we would all make.
Exactly.
We
The
make
same
ourselves
argument
feel
you
better.
just
Yeah.
made, yes.
I can hear our callers.
Now-
They lost to the Cardinals.
Now, I will say the early lines have the Eagles as an underdog in that game. I think that's the only of the 3 games with the early lines where they're an underdog. I think they're minus 1.5. The other ones, I think they're a field goal favorite against the Niners or the Packers. Yeah. So
I'm not surprised about that. I'm not surprised.
But
even with all the evidence, I mean, Vegas needs to take that into consideration. All the evidence he just said.
Right.
Yeah.
So I should be making the line.
Right.
But
I want to bet at the Elliott Shore Parks book.
Yeah. No, I think they could beat the Rams, but I think the 2 games you worry about. Actually, Seattle, as good as they looked last night, I think in a weird way it made me feel better about that matchup because I think they play the same style the Eagles play.
Yep.
Whereas
They do.
the other teams you would have to try to outscore them and potentially get in a shootout.
Yeah.
The Seahawks play the way the Eagles win.
There are no shootouts against the Eagles defense.
No, true. I know, but I'm just saying.
You got to keep that 21 points, though, dog. You got to keep that thing under 21.
21?
That's
We're going 16.
What decade is this? 16?
I said. Hey, Ike, I said what I said.
Hugh, what's your pick? Rams or Niners? What do you want to say?
I would probably say between the 2. I don't want to see either one of them, but 2 of the lesser evils, I would probably say the 49ers because they're a little bit more banged up. And to Ike's point, they're not the team that came here a couple years ago and put hands all over us. They ain't hit us all upside the head. Right, yeah. So they're a little bit different when it comes to that.
Yeah, I thought the Seahawks kind of punked them last night.
They did.
I thought
they dominated that game.
I was surprised.
Tougher team.
Listen, that's that divisional opponent thing.
Yeah.
Man.
I tell you what, man.
know
People,
it.
you try to tell them that all the time, but that means a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
that hatred.
The thing the Niners don't do well is they don't win the turnover battle. I think they're middle of the league and turnover differential, and we know the Eagles win games almost one way exclusively. They win the turnover battle. The Rams actually have a better turnover differential this year than the Eagles do. So I think just from a style standpoint as well, the Niners, you could feel confident about winning the turnover battle, and the Eagles never lose basically when they win that.
You know what I wouldn't like? I would not like the matchup of Devontae versus Adoree Jackson all game.
Devontae Adams, if he's back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
He's still nursing that hammy, though, right? Still,
He has.
the hammy.
Well, he has been for 2 weeks, but it'll be 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, about
since
time
he
we see
played.
him. Yeah.
So, You got to think about how do you attack this Eagles defense, and it's always the number 2 corner.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you attack this Eagles defense. At least with the Niners, they don't have any real receivers.
No, they don't.
To throw the ball to.
I mean, Jennings is okay.
Yeah.
Pearsall is banged up, but he's okay.
Yeah.
Well, and also Purdy.
And I'd rather face them versus Stafford and Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think with Stafford. Sorry, just quickly.
And Puka, yeah.
Yeah, Puka.
Well, I'm assuming Quignon's going to follow Puka everywhere.
Yeah, and his brother out there stealing people's cars and whatnot.
You better stop doing that.
He's had an interesting few weeks. But I think with Stafford, the concern is he could kind of negate the Eagles' defensive line by just getting rid of the ball quickly.
Yeah.
Purdy holds on to the ball. He runs around back there. He tries to make things happen. Stafford doesn't really do that. So I agree with your point. Like, Devontae and Adoree, when Stafford's getting rid of it quickly, could be a problem.
You know, as we talk through this, if chalk holds, I actually like the way the bracket is setting up for the Eagles. I think the Rams and Seahawks are the 2 best teams. I think they're the 2
more than the Eagles?
Well,
or other than the Eagles?
Like, for the Eagles to get through,
yes,
they're the 2 toughest teams. And if it holds...
To answer your question, more than the Eagles.
Yeah. I think you guys are you're underestimating the Bears, first of all.
Okay.
And I know they won last night, but let's not act like Sam Darnold is some playoff savant.
But that
like,
team is dominant.
Yeah, but the quarterback matters more than anything else. And they would be going into the playoffs with arguably the worst quarterback in the playoffs outside of, I guess Baker or Baker's probably better than him.
Yeah,
and
you
then
know,
you
we
could
say
argue
this,
Bryce Young.
he's like one of 6 quarterbacks ever to have 14 wins twice in his career.
In the regular season.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then last year he had
You know the
all
other
those
guys on that
wins.
list are Montana, Brady,
And
Mahomes,
those guys have
Manning.
those guys have playoff wins.
No, I understand that, but like,
well, that's a big
You
thing to
can't be
understand.
bad and win 14 games in the season twice. You just can't.
He's pretty close. Like
No,
he
he's not bad.
He goes to the postseason and chokes. So like
he's played 1 playoff.
And how
game.
was he?
But like Elliott.
Okay, there we go.
But you say he went to the postseason.
Right.
Okay, quickly.
I'm saying, would they not have the worst quarterback in the conference outside of the NFC South team?
Do you think Jalen's played better than Sam Darnold this season?
I think I'd rather have Jalen in the playoffs.
I didn't
than
ask
Darnold.
that question.
Well, that the question I asked you was not who is the better regular season quarterback. I said, would they have the worst quarterback in the
Well,
in
I'm
the
just
playoffs?
wondering what is the criteria.
The quarterback I trust in the postseason.
Then probably
Okay,
he's the bottom. Yeah.
All right. Well, that matters to me.
But I mean, it's a pretty good field, right? There's no bum in there. My point is though,
Bryce Young, maybe.
Bryce Young. Bryce Young's the worst.
He would be the least.
No, I agree.
Jordan Love's interesting too.
He is. I don't know what to do.
He's
with him.
won games.
He has. Yeah.
I do think the Eagles' path, if chalk holds, is easier though. If you tell me in the second round, Eagles go to Chicago and the Seahawks and Rams have to play each other,
right?
That knocks out
one of the two.
One of the 2 heavyweights.
Yep.
And
So
then
you just got to get past Chicago.
Get past Chicago and look.
might
You'd
not be-
rather play Chicago.
Are
in
you
the
sure
second
you'd
round.
rather go to Chicago than Seattle?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
All right. I've seen this offense play in
the
the
Seahawks
cold.
point differential is almost plus 200
Because they played a terrible schedule.
Elliott, they have 2 teams in
No,
the
they
division
played
that
the
won 12
toughest
games.
division.
No, but their schedule was terrible.
But
You know what-
Elliott,
you know
they
what
played
the-
4 games against 12-win teams, and they still have the best point differential in pro football. How
You know what
could-
the thing that scares me
they're
about
good.
Chicago though?
What?
If you're playing against Chicago, the time of possession battle.
Yeah, they like to run the football.
They will hold on to the football.
Well, listen,
and we are point challenged.
Let me tell you.
I love point
Let me tell you, when
We are
the
point
next time
challenged.
we play the Bears, if we play the Bears in that second round, we will spend the entire week reminding this team of what they
About-
looked like the
yes.
last time they played
Yep.
the Bears.
And-
I'm not concerned with how they're going to play against the Bears. They'll be so damn pissed off at us all week of
Yeah,
reminding
but
them.
they still point challenged though.
I
Still
think they
point
could win the
challenged.
game, but I've not seen a team beat the Eagles like the Bears beat the
Yeah,
Eagles in
I
a
agree.
long time.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? So that's the only
Like
thing I'm
they
saying.
methodically ran all up and down the
That's what I'm
field.
saying. And you think the Eagles don't remember that?
No, I'm
yeah,
sure
they
they
do.
do, yeah.
They do.
But-
But here's the thing though, Ike.
We're not letting that happen again.
Okay, but again, about to ask you, how much of that is going to change? Because we're
we're not letting that happen again.
but we're still point challenged. Like
What do
that,
you mean? It's like
Especially
scoring
in the
all-
we're
cold.
scoring the points.
That's
We're
gonna be
scoring.
good, but that's not changing, Hugh. We got to, our defense has to change.
Yeah, dude, this is you. You know I love you.
But
Tell
listen, this started last year with you, man.
what are you talking about?
Well, this is why we've been trying to tell you about how important defense
Finally,
is.
finally.
First of
This
all,
is what we've been trying to
push
tell you.
back. I never said defense
Man,
was not
you just have the
important.
luxury.
We heard it.
Well, okay, and I'm gonna ask you this.
Here we go.
My
They're gonna
brother,
lead us to a
my
title.
brother in Christ. Who make the most money on this football team?
The offense does.
Okay, so that's why defense is luxury, because we don't want to pay any offensive play. We don't want to pay any defensive play.
No, I'm saying for us to win this year,
no doubt.
We're going to be riding the backs of this defense.
We're definitely going to ride the backs.
Yeah.
But you'd rather, but to Hugh's
no
point,
money on this defense.
Not yet.
To Hugh's point, though, you would rather have a great offense.
With that's
what he said.
Sure, you would
it's
rather
awesome if you have a great defense, but you have to have
That's what they paid for.
Yes, exactly.
Quarterback making $50 million.
Yeah.
You got $30 million bookends.
Yeah.
You got $30 million.
Got the biggest thank you check in the history.
You know
of the
what I mean?
franchise.
You got $30 million. You got $30 million receivers, but you got a defense that's been piecemealed together by free agents.
That ain't piecemeal now. That's built.
High picks.
That's built.
It wasn't built. Jalen Phillips, we got off the trash heap.
Yeah.
We went and got a corner
What
from
about
somewhere.
Jalen Hunt?
Okay, we talked. That was a diamond in the rough, but still
Quinyon
ain't making no money.
Quinyon.
Still ain't making no money.
They all about to get paid.
But eventually, but not right now.
No,
the offense was the one that's making the most
That
money.
clock's ticking on the
They
offense.
got the highest paid offense in the league.
And they have grossly underachieved.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to
Yeah,
argue
no, I
that.
think we all agree that
Now
defense
you see
is
what
there.
defensive luxury not
I would much rather go to Seattle than Chicago to bring this back. Like, I'd rather face the worst
bring it
quarterback,
back home,
and I'd
right,
rather
yeah.
face the team that didn't smack the Eagles like 5 weeks
Because they
ago.
haven't played them. I mean, like,
I know.
Do you think the Eagles' offense
It's
is
hard to
score
go
in
to
that
Seattle and win.
Do you think the
It's
Eagles'
Or
hard
go
to
to
it is.
Chicago and win.
That's a 6-hour flight.
Yeah.
I know. Trust me. I already looked at them.
That's it.
He said you
Now
trying-
we're getting to the bottom. He
trying
doesn't
to
want to
get
go
to
to
the
Seattle.
beat.
All
Oh,
right,
Chicago's a better city too.
see, now we got it. All right, coming
Seattle's
up.
all right. They got never mind.
Dave Spadera will join us coming up. This is the Eagles Radio Network presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Football is all about protection. Protect the ball, the QB, the lead. With Penny, PA's official health insurance marketplace, you can protect yourself with high-quality health coverage so you're not blindsided by medical bills. It's open enrollment time for all Pennsylvanians to apply, shop, and enroll at penny.com. That's PENNIE.com. Deadline is January 15th. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese. My wife Cindy and I had a new roof installed by Impriano Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and we're delighted. When it comes to your roof, good planning is essential. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, serving our area for over 5 decades, using only the best CertainTeed products. If you need a new roof, call Jack Impriano Roofing. Online at Impriano.com. It's good to hire Jack and his team. Remember, the best homes have an Impriano roof.
Imagine the perfect chicken tender. Crispy, juicy, for lack of a better word, tendery. Now imagine these perfect tenders at Wendy's. 'Cause they are. Wendy's new chicken tenders are here with delicious new dipping sauces like Wendy's Signature, Creamy Ranch, and Honey Barbecue. And they're so good, we even changed our name from Wendy's to Tendies. I believe that's what the kids call manifesting. For Tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Every team needs a reliable defense, especially when life blindsides you. At Pansini and Pazika Law Group, you're not just an injury case, you're family, and we fight for you the way we'd fight for one of our own. From your first call to your final settlement, we're by your side, making sure your voice is heard on every play. Your recovery is personal to us. Pansini and Pazika Law Group. Hundreds of millions recovered. Schedule your free consultation. Visit PansiniLaw.com.
Running a business in Philly means knowing how to hustle, finding every edge to stay competitive. Here's one thing you don't want to overlook: saving energy and money with Pico. Pico offers expert energy assessments to help businesses of all sizes find solutions to reduce energy use and lower costs. From financial incentives to equipment upgrades, Pico makes it easy to improve your bottom line. Visit pico.com/ways to save to start saving today.
Hey, it's Devin Caney. If you've seen me on the sidelines this season, you've seen me repping my custom Cozy Jewelers pieces. Paul Cozy created them just for me, and I absolutely love them. I wear them all the time. What I love most is how Paul really listened to me and crafted the exact pieces I was hoping for. You can give that same one-of-a-kind gift to someone special this holiday season. Just stop into Cozy Jewelers and talk to Paul. He'll design something truly unforgettable. Step up to the 5th C. Color, cut, clarity, carrot, and cozy.
Hey, this is Reed Blankenship from the Birds. Bring home more for less at Ashley. Check out these savings.
Transform your home for 2026 with great offers on our favorite looks at Ashley's New Year's sale. Discover hot buys for every room in your home, starting at just $299. And you can ring in the new year with new styles today and pay over time with 60-month special financing on in-store purchases. Don't miss out. Shop the season's must-have looks at Ashley's New Year's sale.
Celebrate the Philadelphia Eagles' historic World Championship victory with the official fan jewelry collection from Jason of Beverly Hills. Shop everything from rings and necklaces to bracelets, earrings, and more. All inspired by the 2024 championship rings worn by the team. This exclusive collection honors the heart, grit, and glory of the Eagles' triumph on football's biggest stage. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of Eagles history. See the entire line now at jasonofbh.com/Eagles.
This holiday, Verizon is giving you incredible gifts and savings you'll enjoy all year. When you switch, you'll get 4 new iPhone 17 Pros. No trade-in needed. That's right. Get 4 lines for just $25 a line and the amazing iPhone 17 Pro for everyone. Save big this holiday. Visit Verizon today. $20 monthly promo credits applied to account over 35 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
You're listening to the Verizon Pregame Show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles, alongside Ike Reese, Hugh Douglas, Elliott Shore Parks. We are joined now by Eagles insider Dave Spadera. Dave, how we doing?
It's Week 18. Bo Allen's walking up here without a shirt on. This is good stuff here. Yeah.
It's got the
Mr. Vaseline
kind of stuff right there.
Got the jorts on.
And they got the tight-ass shorts on. Bo, you are
working.
You're wild.
You're working something.
He out here looking like a porn star mechanic.
There we go. I was wondering where you were going to go with that.
Yeah. I had a bad feeling where it was going.
Like he about to do porn as a mechanic.
He's got the Vaseline.
You know what I mean? I'm here
get a hold of the show.
I'm here to fix your car.
Got check Hughes' search history.
So, Dave, who's going to play today?
It doesn't really matter. No. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of young players that you want to see what they got and how much maybe you can count on them in the future. And I think everybody would agree. Tanner McKee, Darius Cooper, Tank Bigsby, Cameron Williams, Drew Kendall, on and on and on.
Offensive tackle, Cameron Williams.
Maybe the tackle of the future, honestly.
Well, I mean, they need one, right?
Yeah.
At some point, Ike Reese is a guy's draft pick. He's a draft pick. Six-round draft pick.
He was going to be a first-round pick until he was terrible in Texas.
Listen, these are the games I live for.
I try. See that? I like that. I like that, Ike. I like that. It means a lot.
Hughes over there eating sunflower seeds.
That's right, Mr. First Round pick.
I'm out there killing it.
Y'all make me feel bad because I got drafted in the first round. You took a pay cut when you went to the NFL.
I took a pay. We didn't have NIL deals back then.
Yeah, so Michigan State had a little under the table.
He went. Listen, I remember Ike when he was at Michigan State. His freshman year, he was a pass rusher.
Yeah.
They gave him like $1 million to come to Michigan State. He's from Ohio.
We've never told that story before.
Yeah, because I'm embellishing it a little bit. They gave him like $500,000 to go to Michigan State. He played his freshman year. Ike started his freshman year.
Red shirt.
Say okay.
Red shirt.
Okay, red shirt year.
Yeah.
What's the difference? You just got there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, see, he don't want to talk
Joe,
about that.
get a hold of this show.
He don't want to talk
I'm actually kind of intrigued by the story, to be honest with you.
Well, we already got Hugh down
about
at
that.
All right, so Dave,
his freshman year.
Tanner McKee.
Yes.
Yes.
What do we expect? So here's where I'm at with Tanner. Every time I've watched him play on the field in the NFL, he's played well. Now, I realize some of these have been preseason games, Week 18 last year, not exactly highest level of competition. But until I see anything different, I expect Tanner McKee to play well. Dave, your expectation for the Eagles starting quarterback today?
I think he's going to play great. I think that he will be crisp in and out of the huddle. I think we'll see a range in the game plan. I mean, they're not going to turn and just hand off to Tank Bigsby. I think we see, as we did last year against the Giants, bootlegs and motion and get the ball out quickly and hit receivers in stride and do things the right way. And to me, I mean, I got to tell you, when I watch Tanner play, I see the upside ability of a quality NFL starting quarterback. And so as you build a roster and you have assets and you want to maximize the assets, hoping he lights it up today, Then you go next year, his last year of his contract. What do you do with Tanner McKee in a league that is just dying for quarterbacks with a draft ahead that just doesn't have a whole lot of top-level ones?
In a game like this where next week is the playoffs, obviously, like, do you run stuff on offense that you run all year? Or with Tanner, do you think they'll do, like, more on offense and kind of open the playbook up a little bit with him?
I think it's going to be – that's one of the things I want to watch. You know, Elliott, he's a different skill set in a lot of ways than Jalen. You're not going to see designed runs, for example. But I think you'll see some things that maybe things that Jalen's not comfortable with, or maybe things that they've worked on during the. What's all this like under me? I think
I
just
underlying.
I
just want to say, for the record, it wasn't me.
Well, you're the one that's called Tanner McKee the future, Hugh. So
Dave.
Don't put my name in your mouth.
No, but what I'm
Do not
saying
put my
is-
name in your mouth.
Wait a minute. What I'm saying is this: the way that Dave has been framing this, he could be the future for somebody else's football team.
That's right.
But the future, nonetheless. I mean, listen. We're not the one thing y'all not about to do is dance around everything that's being said on this stage right here and act like we don't know what's being said.
We're talking about the game.
I know what you're talking about, Dave. Be quiet. I'm trying. Be quiet. I got this. I got this.
I'm trying to keep you out of the
all I'm saying is
collateral damage.
All I'm saying is when you say it, people hear that.
We're in a WIP mode.
Yeah, we're in show mode. That's why I ain't saying that.
I do think there is a world where if Tanner is awesome today, next week if the offense comes out and
be a whole
struggles,
conversation.
there will be people yelling for Tanner from the crowd. Like that's just a reality.
That always happens. That
I
doesn't
agree,
matter.
Yeah. Well, it matters if he plays really well.
Well, that's pretty much what Hugh was talking about as far as dancing around.
Right.
Yeah, because
the elephant in the room. Yeah.
That's the elephant in the room, man. Because we've all season long.
And you just said, Dave, the offense is going to look different. They're going to
I mean, you kind of led us down there.
I thought last year against the Giants it looked different.
No, and Dave, you haven't done anything wrong. You have not done anything wrong. I just want to put that out there.
It's all our fault, Dave.
But when you say stuff like that to this group of motley crew of individuals,
don't put yourself above us.
I said this motley crew. When I said motley crew, I meant all of us.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I said that was so inciting.
No,
let me tell you
what's gonna happen. We gonna watch this game, and then it's gonna be a text thread that's gonna probably go out, and everybody's gonna be looking like we're gonna look at the stat line, and we're gonna look at.
They're basically saying if Tanner plays well, then we'll be talking about.
We're
talking about the difference in the offense.
21 to 27.
It's a fair conversation.
290 yards.
Yes,
it's a fair conversation.
So that's where Hugh was dancing around.
Well, now you want to throw.
And your conversation is should the Eagles get 2 first-round picks for Tanner next year?
I was the one. Listen, I said last year when we were trying to trade him to the Saints, should have got that 8th pick.
He wanted like a top 10 pick.
Everybody thought I was crazy.
Look, I would imagine
I
would imagine teams that called the Eagles about Tanner McKee and have probably offered, I don't know, 3rd-round pick. But if I wouldn't trade Tanner McKee for that.
Just a hypothetical.
No, I'm not playing hypothetical.
No, you know what?
All right.
I will tell you what I'm excited about because, like I said, we've had him on the Players Lounge a couple times now.
He's the official quarterback of the
He's the
Players
official
Lounge.
quarterback of the Players Lounge. Yeah. I want to see how well his football knowledge marries to the game because we've had a chance. Like Ike was been there. We've had a chance to talk to him, and he's chomping at the bit to learn.
We won't know if Petulo's going to open this thing
there
up.
We go.
That's it.
So if the Eagles come out and score 3 straight touchdown drives, could you please include me on that text thread?
You got it.
I will tell you. They put up 30 points today. This city going to be on fire.
Yeah, you know it and I know it. All right, Dave, we appreciate it. Enjoy today, and we'll see you next week for a playoff game.
Time flies when you're talking Tanner.
It does. All right, Elliot, save that hypothetical. Devin's going to join us.
I will,
next.
yeah.
All right, this is, of course, the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Currently boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. You know, when you're making your New Year's resolutions, be sure to think about your car and your wallet and then head on over to United Tire and Service. Taking care of your car and saving money is a resolution you can actually keep thanks to United Tire. From new tires to full inspections, oil changes, and more, United Tire and Service will keep your car in shape without breaking the bank. Stop by your locally owned United Tire and Service or go to UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Hi, I'm Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. As presenting sponsor of the Eagles Radio Network, PNC Bank loves an exciting game. But we also think a little boring can go a long way. You see, boring banking means you're doing the right things. That is why PNC leaves a third and long to the professionals. Reliable fiscal strategies are more in our zone anyway. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Driving in a Honda Wonderland. It's that time of year again. Happy Honda Days, where you can drive in a Honda Wonderland of your own with a great offer on a fun-to-drive new Accord, Civic, CR-V, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or a 2026 CR-V, a 4.99% APR on a 2026 Civic, or a 3.49% APR on a 2026 HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Where will Jalen look this year? Left, right, over the middle? He's a smart guy. He'll be looking for the Deborah Heart and Lung Center Red Zone, and with good reason. Like the Birds, Deborah has raised the bar on cardiac excellence by being named a high-performing hospital by U.S. News and World Report. And our alliance with Cleveland Clinic Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute means that our patients get the highest quality of care that they deserve. After all, when it's your heart, your red zone, you don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org.
The working families of La Una Labor's District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor's District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
Who's the man in a white plumbing van?
Roto-Rooter Man.
Who's the dude who clears your drain of food?
Roto-Rooter Man.
Who's the guy to keep your basement dry?
He's the Roto-Rooter Man.
Who's your friend for a pipe on the man?
Roto-Rooter Man.
If plumbing, drains, or water cleanup are the plan, better call your Roto-Rooter man. Roto-Rooter, we put water where it should be.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Merrill Reese here to talk about my friends at NovaCare Rehabilitation. Being an Eagles fan is serious business with no time for aches and pain. The physical therapist at NovaCare will help make sure you stay healthy, active, and doing the activities you love, like cheering on the Eagles. With more than 150 convenient locations throughout the Delaware Valley and South Jersey, visit NovaCare.com to schedule an appointment. NovaCare is the official physical therapy provider to the Philadelphia Eagles. Experience the power of physical therapy.
When it's game time for your business, trust Brady Plus to get you across the goal line. As a national distributor of janitorial, food service, and industrial packaging supplies, we equip your team with the right gear and the playbook to match. Fast delivery, reliable products, real pros who know the field. At Brady Plus, we don't just deliver boxes. We're calling winning plays. Visit BradyPlus.com. That's BradyPlus.com. Proud partner in sustainability of the Philadelphia Eagles.
The pros know nobody beats FW Web. With extensive inventory, personalized service, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast, FW Web supports all customers, from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Web has what you need, when and where you need it. For plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, propane gas, and PVF jobs. With over 100 locations, visit FWWeb.com to find one near you.
This is the Verizon Pregame Show on Eagles Radio.
Welcome back to the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles, alongside Ike Reese, Hugh Douglas, Elliott Shore-Parks, and now Devin Caney. I'm Joe Giglio. Devin, how you doing?
Hello, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Back with you.
We're
How's
good.
it going?
I mean,
We
are you
staying
ready for a big Week 18 game here?
I'm ready. I feel like I don't feel the excitement in the air, though, like from the fans. Like, I just don't feel the energy that we're used to feeling before a game. And I know that, maybe not all the starters are going to play. And it's not meaningless, though. Like, we're still playing for something. There's still things to be excited about here.
Oh, look at you talking yourself into
You should do the pregame hype speech for the team. Yeah.
It's not
meaningless. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm known for.
Run in the huddle. Yeah.
Get
the ego. And yeah, exactly.
Scoop's over here talking herself into it because she got to be out there anyway.
She's out there. Yeah.
Do we know if this game is sold out, though? Because
it's
I have
definitely
very
sold
easy
out.
time parking here.
It's just a matter of
easier.
What'd you say? Is it sold out?
Yeah, Scoops, no, we all got in here pretty easy today.
Yeah.
No problem.
wasn't a lot of tailgaters.
It's a late arriving crowd.
This the one where
Tickets
people
are
come at
sold
the
doesn't
half.
mean they're here. Yeah. Devin, all right, so last night we found out Seahawks are the 1 seed, and that means the Eagles will play one of 3 teams. Packers if we move up to the 2. Otherwise, it's the 49ers or the Rams. Look, I imagine your preference would be the Packers. That means the Eagles are the 2 seed. So if not that, right, if the Eagles stay at the 3 seed, Rams, 49ers, who would you rather see here next week?
I mean, I say yes that my preference would be the Packers, but that's really because they're banged up. I actually don't like the fact that the Eagles have played both the Packers and the Rams so many times in the last 2 seasons. Like this would be the 4th time they're playing both of them. Yep. I just think it's hard to beat a team 4 times. Like you talk about divisional matchups, it's hard to beat a team twice, let alone 4 times in 2 seasons. So when you have that much familiarity, I don't love that. So I actually would prefer the 49ers if it really was left to me. Elliot, I heard you talking about the
3,
Bears.
you would take the 49ers over the Packers? Is that curiosity?
Yes, I would.
Wow. All right. I mean, I like your point about beating them multiple times.
I hadn't thought about that. That's a lot. And the Eagles have won all the games.
Look at Scoops. Bring it. I hear you, Scoops.
I like that.
I mean, that being said, the Packers are very banged up.
They are. But you know, Devontae Adams banged up from the Rams.
Well, they don't
like
Tucker Kraft, Micah
Parsons. Yeah, they banged up.
Jordan Love hasn't played
2 months ago.
Well, he's like their best offensive player.
It's Parsons.
Hey, Tucker was the one that
Micah
said he thought they could go undefeated.
They just claimed a cornerback
What
off
Tucker
of
Kraft the one that said they
waivers.
can go undefeated this year?
No, that was an
just
offensive
claimed
line. That idiot.
The Cowboys guy off of waivers.
Trevon Diggs.
Trevon Diggs,
Trevon Diggs.
But that's where they're at with their
never mind.
defense. That
I'm
they're
gonna keep
claiming
that one
someone
to
off
myself.
waivers to try to get them going for postseason football. So
no, I like the take.
This could be a great year for the postseason.
Yeah.
I don't know who the hell's gonna win.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know.
I don't know who the hell's gonna win.
Should the Eagles be considered the favorites? Should the Eagles be the favorites?
They should be.
I kind of think they should be too.
Well, that's because by default they're the defending Super Bowl
Right.
champions.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
No, the favorite is Seattle. They have home field. They're the 1 seed. They have a bye.
They
But
will
again,
be favored.
they've never
But
won a playoff
But
game
if you match those 2 teams, you tell me you would still take Seattle over the Eagles, even in Seattle.
I will say this.
So I'll answer you this way: if the Eagles get to Seattle, that means they've won 2 playoff games. I think I'm going to feel a lot better. If they play tomorrow, I think Seattle.
would take Seattle.
I think Seattle would beat them.
Okay, so
Why?
what do you hang your hat on the fact that Sam Darnold hasn't played well in the postseason?
I think you guys are on the wrong side of the ball. I don't think this Eagles offense would score 13 points against the Seattle defense. That's the best.
I disagree.
Oh. Yeah. That defense is
man with
dominant.
AJ, Devontae, Dallas Goedert, and Saquon.
Seattle's defense is that good?
I think it is.
Seattle's defense is very good. I
Who
agree
are
with
their
that.
corners?
But the Eagles' defense is also elite. I think that the Seahawks would have a tougher matchup.
I agree
For stopping the Eagles' offense, in my
I
opinion.
think
the
NFC
Seahawks will be easier to defend
Yes.
than the Eagles are.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, 100%. The Eagles defense would eat Sam Darnold
listen,
alive.
we're gonna lock up. We're gonna put Quinyon on.
So you're gonna lock him up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the most explosive this year of all the skill players in the game. Yeah, he's the
the
problem.
concern with Seattle would be, would the Eagles be able to stop their running game? And I think they probably would. They just played it well against Buffalo.
Yeah, because we're gonna have N'Kobe back. We'll have N'Kobe back.
Right. So that's what it would come down to. If they stop Seattle's running game, they would hold them to like 17 or 14
Jalen
points.
Carter, Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
I like that.
Come on, man.
That's why I would rather go there than Chicago.
How many
We are
pre-snap
going-
penalties
we
on the
are
road
going
there?
to Santa Clara.
It's not that loud.
I want y'all to know we're going to the damn Super Bowl again
I'm
this
going to
year.
look for dinner reservations now.
You book it, Elliot.
You better be included this
Oh,
year.
yeah, you can come with
Why
us.
the hell did you not get included last time, Scoops? What happened?
She was
I
too
don't
cool.
think I flew.
Nah, she didn't come out.
Oh, that's right. You came later in the week.
Why all y'all making y'all Super Bowl plan? The thing that would give me pause
Here we go.
Okay.
is the defense of the perimeter for the Eagles. They don't defend the perimeter well. Last week in that game against
you talking
Buffalo,
about our ends?
our defensive ends, they do not
like
defend.
Jaden Phillips?
I don't like them defending the perimeter. Like if you get like last week, the reason why they were
Running
able to
around
stop the
the
run,
edges?
the reason why they were able to stop the run last week, is because they tried to run through the middle.
Okay.
Like Buffalo was trying to run up the middle. They couldn't do that.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times that if the runner just saw the defensive ends peeking inside way too many for my taste. As a guy who has a lot of nerve talking about stop and run.
I know. This guy's unbelievable. You
that.
are something else.
I feel like
He was our best run stopping in. He was our run stopping in.
Listen.
The defense still held James Cook to like,
I feel like a hypocrite
under
talking
70
about
yards?
playing
Was
the
it
run.
68 he had?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But Scoops, it was because it was more so that the tackle didn't bounce it outside. he didn't bounce it outside. I feel hypocritical
No,
talking
it's
about
all
that.
good.
I feel
No,
like you're
because
just looking for things.
Well, the
to get
concern
it's
would
not,
be against
but that-
Chicago. They see that on the tape and
yes,
they take it.
that's what I'm
That's
talking
who
about.
killed us,
That's
yeah,
what I'm talking
Chicago.
about. That
Right.
perimeter running.
I still
will
blame
really
that on
hurt you.
Turkey, man. That was Thanksgiving, the day
Yeah.
after
The
Thanksgiving.
tryptophan
man.
got him?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that was just a
go with
weird.
that.
I am
Wait, which
not-
quarterback would you rather face, Sam Darnold or Caleb Williams?
Sam Darnold.
Same. Yeah. I think too.
I mean,
That's
either.
because
The
you're
Bears'
talking about-
defense
Sam
is not
Darnold's
good.
been playing well though.
Yeah, but if you get to Sam Darnold, he can't handle pressure. Like the Niners couldn't get to him last night.
Okay,
the
I
Eagles,
get you.
the
Yeah.
Eagles, I
Yeah,
think, would
I
get
get
to
you.
Sam Darnold.
Any
Yeah.
team that holds a Kyle Shanahan offense with their starting quarterback to 3 points is
I
serious.
agree.
Yeah, that's a
They
serious.
have been
They have
averaging
good
30-some points.
Yeah,
No.
true.
They dominate. All right, Devin, before we say goodbye, we have to ask everyone on the set with us, what do you expect out of Tanner McKee today?
I mean, we haven't seen Tanner McKee. I heard Dave Spadaro on with you guys earlier. Like, we haven't
Call
seen
him the
him have
future.
a bad game. He was out there right before I came out here to be on the show, guys. He was warming up. He was talking
Oh,
with the
man,
O-line.
Jalen doesn't do that.
Uh-oh.
He
That's
doesn't.
what we're doing. That's what we're
Let
doing.
the speculation
That's what-
begin.
that's what
But
we're
no,
doing.
I'm very optimistic about
Well, I
Tanner
tell you,
McKee. I have full faith in
Monday,
him.
whatever happens today, Monday's gonna be real interesting.
But Devin, we appreciate
You want a
it.
hypothetical?
No, man, I don't
We-
even feel like going to
You
work
got to save it
tomorrow.
again, Elliot. All right,
Absolutely
we'll
no one, Elliot. You want a hypothetical? You love the hypothetical.
We'll get to it. All right, Devin, we appreciate it. All right, coming up,
Thanks,
we will
guys.
have inactives and perhaps Elliot's hypothetical. This is the Eagles Radio Network presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Birds fans, are you ready for the game? Just like a winning team needs a solid foundation, so does your home. That's why you need Groundworks in your playbook. Philadelphia's experts in basement waterproofing, foundations, and crawl space repair. Groundworks' team of dedicated professionals is here to tackle all challenges. Whether it's water in the basement, sagging floors, smells in your crawl space, or sticky windows and doors, Groundworks is here to protect your home for every game day and beyond. Book your free inspection today at groundworks.com.
Every team needs a reliable defense, especially when life blindsides you. At Pansini and Pazika Law Group, you're not just an injury case, you're family, and we fight for you the way we'd fight for one of our own. From your first call to your final settlement, we're by your side, making sure your voice is heard on every play. Your recovery is personal to us. Pansini and Pazika Law Group. Hundreds of millions recovered. Schedule your free consultation. Visit PansiniLaw.com.
Hey Philly, did you know natural gas is the most reliable and efficient way to heat our homes, cook our food, and dry our clothes affordably? And with PGW, the benefits of natural gas keep on coming. PGW has programs and offers that can make life easier no matter where in Philly you live. From spreading your bill evenly across the year to boosting your home's energy efficiency with rebates, and from year-round payment assistance programs to servicing appliances, PGW's got you covered. Check us out at pgworks.com.
The Piazza Auto Group is proud to have served as the halftime sponsor of the Eagles Radio Network for over 20 years. As we hope for another championship, it's the perfect time to drive home in the new or certified pre-owned vehicle you've been wanting. The Piazza Auto Group features 18 brands, including Honda, Acura, Mazda, Hyundai, Genesis, Mini, Nissan, Subaru, and Volkswagen. To find the location nearest you or to shop their extensive inventory, visit PiazzaAutoGroup.com.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese. My wife Cindy and I had a new roof installed by Impriano Roofing, Siding, and Windows, and we're delighted. When it comes to your roof, good planning is essential. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, serving our area for over 5 decades, using only the best CertainTeed products. If you need a new roof, call Jack Impriano Roofing. Online at Impriano.com. It's good to hire Jack and his team. Remember, the best homes have an Impriano roof. This is Merrill Reese, voice of the Eagles. I've called games in every stadium in the league. There's one thing I've learned. Connection matters. That's why I'm partnering with Verizon and made the switch. From the press box to the parking lot, the coverage is flawless. No dropped calls, no lag, just reliable service wherever I go. So if you're thinking about switching, trust me, Verizon's got you. Get to your local Verizon store today.
Imagine the perfect chicken tender. Crispy, juicy, for lack of a better word, tendery. Now imagine these perfect tenders at Wendy's. 'Cause they are. Wendy's new chicken tenders are here with delicious new dipping sauces like Wendy's Signature, Creamy Ranch, and Honey Barbecue. And they're so good, we even changed our name from Wendy's to Tendies. I believe that's what the kids call manifesting. For Tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
Driving in a Honda Wonderland.
It's that time of year again. Happy Honda Days, where you can drive in a Honda Wonderland of your own with a great offer on a fun-to-drive new Accord, Civic, CR-V, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or a 2026 CR-V, a 4.99% APR on a 2026 Civic, or a 3.49% APR on a 2026 HR-V.
Contact your local Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Running a business in Philly means knowing how to hustle, finding every edge to stay competitive. Here's one thing you don't want to overlook: saving energy and money with Pico. Pico offers expert energy assessments to help businesses of all sizes find solutions to reduce energy use and lower costs. From financial incentives to equipment upgrades, Pico makes it easy to improve your bottom line. Visit pico.com/ways to save to start saving today.
You're listening to the Verizon Pregame Show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Our coming up, we'll have Merrill Reese next hour. Our legend of the day, John Booty, be with us as well.
John Booty.
Elliot, I'm awaiting the official inactive list, but if I remember last year, the Eagles were able to deactivate a lot of players. I mean, basically every starter that they really want to keep off the field, they did it last year.
Yeah, so one thing they'll have to balance today with the inactives is, A, you can only have so many inactives. Like, you are right that they were able to get a lot there. You do have to have some guys dressed just in case of injury.
Emergency.
And I think you need to have 8 offensive linemen dressed in order to get an extra guy active. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance it. But my expectation today is obviously there'll be scoreboard watching. We know that the Lions, if they beat the Bears, that impacts them. I think they're playing the backups throughout the game. I don't anticipate a world where a healthy Tanner McKee is pulled for Jalen Hurts. I think the only way you're going to see guys like that is if it's like an emergency situation. But it wouldn't shock me if Jalen was dressed as the emergency quarterback.
Well, you're right about that. I do have.
Yeah, you don't have that many quarterbacks.
I do
on the
have the
roster.
list here. Our inactives are out. So here are the players that are inactive for today's game: Nakobe Dean, Marcus Epps, Jalen Phillips, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Carter.
Okay.
So that means
Jalen is the emergency quarterback.
Jalen, I assume so. Yeah, he's not inactive.
Right.
Oh,
well, that makes sense. I mean, Lane has not played, and then obviously Epps has a concussion. So I think some of those are legit injuries. But a guy like Landon, he's needed time off. I think Goddard, you mentioned him. Like, I think he had a hip something this week maybe. He could probably play if it was a playoff game. But, yeah, I think they're giving the guys they think need the biggest rest some time off.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where unless they have injuries to their backups, they don't have to put – even a starter that's in uniform doesn't have to go in the game.
Yeah, it'll only be because of injury. Like, Cam and Mailata are both active today. I think that's about getting to the 8 offensive linemen as opposed to a real world where they get in the game.
Quickly, Elliot, your thought right now, and we could probably expand on it later, but Nakobe Dean's health and Lane Johnson's health as we head towards next week.
So Nakobe I feel good about. I think Nakobe would probably be playing today if it was a playoff game. And I think Lane would too. The only thing with Lane is it's just one of the more interesting injuries I've covered with the Eagles. It's been a few weeks of, he's going to play, and then he's not playing. So, A, I think he will play in the playoff game, but he hasn't played in a while. Obviously a phenomenal player, right? But B, he was in and out of the lineup this season when they have been healthy. So we'll see how well he plays when he plays next week. But I expect both to be out there.
Do you think we see a lot of Tank Bigsby today, or because he's kind of a part of this, do we see more of the Shipleys and the A.J. Dillons today?
I would probably say Shipley and A.J. Dillon. You'll probably see a little bit of Tank.
Tank probably wants.
I'm sure he wants to play.
Got my mic on, Jack.
He need I need that mic on. He got something to say.
I would imagine Tank wants to play today.
Get a couple touchdowns, a couple big runs.
I thought you said I was thinking A.J. Dillon.
Oh.
He been
he wants to play too. We haven't seen him since he fumbled.
Well,
New York in
the
October.
The accountability bunny.
Well, there was the bunny,
Yeah, the accountability bunny.
That can't be the last memory of his.
I mean, they're like 3-1 since that bunny popped up. So let's not act like that bunny was a negative.
Yeah,
they got it out of there in 1 week.
They pulled the bunny too quickly, but they still are 3-1 since the bunny.
They would not have won again.
I'm still bringing that bunny to San Francisco.
All right, no, you do not do that.
Bunny.
All right, coming up, our legend of the day, John Booty, will join us. This is the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly bored since 1865. on 94 WIP.
Last week in Buffalo, the Eagles didn't flinch. They finished.
And it is incomplete. The Eagles win. The Eagles win.
Today, it's the regular season finale in South Philly.
We got to come to work and keep grinding and keep getting better, and it's going to take all of us to do it, and we know that.
As they clash with the Commanders. Today's game is sponsored in part by PNC Bank, PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems, Verizon, NovaCare Rehabilitation, your Delaware Valley Honda dealers, Deborah Heart and Lung Center, Acme, and Piazza Auto Group. You're listening to the Verizon pregame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.
Welcome to the Verizon pregame show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. We get set for Week 18 here at the Linc. The Eagles and the Commanders. If the Eagles win and the Bears lose, the Eagles with the number 2 seed. If not, the number 3 seed awaits next week in the postseason. Alongside Ike Reese and Hugh Douglas and Elliot Shore Parks, I am Joe Giglio. Joining us right now, our honorary captain today, former Eagle, defensive back John Booty. John, how you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. It's great to be back here in Philadelphia.
John, we're happy to have you today. And just to start off, as a former defender, what's it like for you watching this version of the Eagles defense? Boy, are they good, especially that secondary.
Hey, this secondary is special, and I like seeing Coop and Mitch, how they're playing out there, the whole collective team, and getting after that quarterback with that front four, and the linebackers are just playing very well. I know I'm talking about the secondary, but I got to say about everybody.
Oh, man,
Everybody's playing well back there. And so it's just to see them fly around, it does remind me of the 1991 team that I played on with Reggie White and Jerome Brown and Clyde Simmons and Eric Allen and Seth Joyner and those guys.
What a list.
Man.
Yeah, you play
casually, dropping names there.
Just casually dropping names.
You talk about all the talent you played with on that defense. When you're on a defense that, you go in that room and everyone knows, like, we have all this talent. Right. This Eagles defense is a ton of talent, obviously not to that level. But what's it like when you're on a defense where you have that much talent around you?
Well, what it's like, not just the talent they had, but those guys were smart football players. They studied, and they studied some more. And the guys who are the players they plugged in, like myself at times, I knew that I had to put myself in position as a smart player so I could slow the game down for myself. So just playing with that talent, knowing that you can almost be relaxed back then in the secondary when you have Reggie and Clyde and Jerome coming at that quarterback, And but you got to play smart, and these guys are playing very smart as well.
I tell you, John, I played a very similar role playing under Jim Johnson and the great defenses that he had. I was more of a supplemental part of those defenses. And I knew getting out there, man, I was like, you know what? I can't let Brian Dawkins down. I can't let Hugh Douglas down. I can't let Jeremiah Trotter down. So you want to be out there and make sure you do your part to contribute what these guys have really built up.
And I have a real story for that. The last game of the season, 1991, we were battling for our number 1 ranking on defense. And we didn't make the playoff that year, but we wanted to beat the Washington Redskins. And that was the last game of the season. And I learned in the locker room that I was going to be the starter that day. And I learned when I went in the locker room, the secondary coach said, "John, you starting today." And I'm like, oh, wow, I got to play against Gary Clark and Art Monk and Ricky Sanders.
That's crazy.
And these jokers eventually won the Super Bowl. But when I learned that, I went to Reggie, Clyde, Seth, Jerome, Eric Allen, Wes Hopkins, and Andre Waters. Hey, listen, I'm starting today. They were like, okay. And they just say, hey, next man up.
Yeah.
Let's play some football. Yeah. And I prided myself to be the next man up, to always be ready to play if something happens. And for me, that happened, and we end up becoming the number 1 defense across the board.
Yeah, it's a different league now where they want to promote offense, right? But it still has to feel good to see teams that are sort of defensive-led teams. Right. And that's kind of where we've sort of fallen into. We have been searching for our identity all year long, but that was from an offensive perspective. Come to find out, the best unit on this team is the defense this year.
Well, defense wins championships. And
that's right.
They had a collective.
They
had a collective group last year. They win it, right? But
that's right.
the defense played a hell of a football game in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So this defense is playing a hell of a game this year, this season, and so it's still a team effort. Just win. Let's win the freaking football game, right?
John, how impressed are you with the job Vic Fangio has done here? I mean, you played for Bud Carson, a great defensive mind. For me, Vic Fangio is one of the greatest I've ever seen. What's your thought on what he's done the last 2 years here? Obviously, a great career before Philadelphia, but just the last couple years with this group.
Well, he knows how to get the talent in the position and play football, like Bond. I'm sorry,
Zach,
I hope I mess up his name. And Cooper and Mitchell and the rest of the guys. Getting those guys on the D-line refreshed, getting them out there and rotating those guys. But these guys are smart football players, man.
Yeah,
that's the deal.
Yeah.
And when you have smart football players that love to play the football game and will hit you,
that's one thing.
Get me
and
excited.
we're a good tackling team.
Yes.
Like they don't miss very many tackles. They're a good tackling team.
I'm glad we brought another defensive player on here because, John, I mean, Hugh Douglas over here has been trying to tell us defense is a luxury, not a necessity.
Okay, John. Can I explain it?
Get him right.
Okay, I got
because John, this is where when we talk about the NFL nowadays, most of the money is allocated to the offensive side of the ball, like our team is.
Right.
So when I say that, it's not out of disrespect. It's because you don't want to pay defensive players, so it's not a necessity; it's a luxury.
Well, you got to find – it's a luxury, but at the same time, you got to find those guys who like, hey, I'm hungry, and I want to make a name for myself.
And that's defense in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, in this NFL, most of the guys that they want to give all the bread to are the guys that play offense.
Well, I got their little secret for you. They wanted to do that a long time ago, back in the late 1900s when I played.
So that's where it was born at. So I know I
was born at.
Yeah, that's where I get a little irritated with me. But my fact still remains. Well, nobody wants to pay defenders.
And nobody wants to pay the defenders.
They want to pay the offensive player.
They're about to pay a few of these defenders, though.
They ain't gonna pay them all, though. They ain't gonna pay. They ain't gonna be able to pay them all.
The thing about this game, they're gonna pick and choose who they need to play. The solid players that think longevity, that's gonna be here. But at the same time, you can't lose a good, solid football player.
No, you can't use a foundational player.
Right.
John, what did you think of the Eagles' decision this week? Because they have a chance to move up to the number 2 seed if they win and Chicago loses. More likely the 3, but the plan is to rest most of their starters. What did you think of it? We debated it all week, whether or not it was the right decision.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. You know what? I heard Nick say something like, we're going to use this as a bye week, like a playoff, like we had back in the day when you have 2 teams in a division, in a conference, and take bye weeks, right? So you want to get those guys healthy. If they're banged up, get them healthy. Again, it's a good test for the guys next man up. Just in case something happens, these guys got some experience. They want to win this football game. And so I'm okay with that.
What's your perspective on Jalen Hurts as we head towards the postseason? Look, he's had a wonderful career as a second-round pick to do what he's done, but there's been a lot of up and downs with the offense this year where they just go quiet for stretches, and then he looks really good for certain games. What's your thought on Jalen?
I just love Jalen being Jalen, man. He's a leader, and he's going to let players know that we probably don't see or hear about themselves, but at the same time, he wins.
That's what we do.
That's what he does. That's what he does. All right, John, last one for you. Okay. Being back here, what's it like for you? You got to play 2 years. So you followed a similar path to Hugh, Jets to Eagles. What was it like coming to Philadelphia? What was it like playing here?
I got to tell you, when I got here, we were called the Philadelphia Jets.
Is that
right? But when I got here, I learned a valuable lesson at first meeting. It was just a players-only meeting, and I knew then that I had to perform in practice with the players that I own that football team, especially on defense. And Keith Jackson, a great tight end for the Eagles back then, he said, John, you're going to love the team, but, man, you got to come with some thick skin because the Philadelphia Eagles fans will let you know.
Oh, yeah. And that has not changed. That has
not changed.
And I don't anticipate it ever will. John, we appreciate it. Enjoy today.
Yes,
honorary Captain John Booty. All right, coming up, we'll talk to Merrill Reese here. This is the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Football fans don't just watch the game, they live it. From pregame rituals to postgame celebrations, PNC is proud to be presenting sponsor of the Eagles Radio Network and a devoted fan just like you. Fans who show up in full force in every kind of weather, because keeping your finances boring allows you to make exciting memories full of face paint, tailgates, and all the things that make game day. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious. With multiple engine options and impressive towing, while Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability. Nice. Making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Where will Jalen look this year? Left, right, over the middle? He's a smart guy. He'll be looking for the Deborah Heart and Lung Center Red Zone, and with good reason. Like the Birds, Deborah has raised the bar on cardiac excellence by being named a high-performing hospital by U.S. News and World Report. And our alliance with Cleveland Clinic Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute means that our patients get the highest quality of care that they deserve. After all, when it's your heart, your red zone, you don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org.
Yo, Philly, Ike Reese here. You can feel it. The air's cooler, football's hotter, and that means it's tasty cake season. I'm talking about those limited edition fall flavors like pumpkin pie and salted caramel donuts. The perfect game day snack while you're watching the Birds. Whether you're tailgating or kicking back on the couch, make it a win with Tasty Cake. Grab yours before the season ends, and you know the deal, accept no substitutes.
Hey, this is Reed Blankenship from the Birds. Bring home more for less at Ashley. Check out these savings.
Transform your home for 2026 with great offers on our favorite looks at Ashley's New Year's sale. Discover hot buys for every room in your home, starting at just $299. And you can ring in the new year with new styles today and pay over time with 60-month special financing on in-store purchases. Don't miss out. Shop the season's must-have looks at Ashley's New Year's sale.
Football is all about protection. Protect the ball, the QB, the lead. With Penny, PA's official health insurance marketplace, you can protect yourself with high-quality health coverage, so you're not blindsided by medical bills. It's open enrollment time for all Pennsylvanians to apply, shop, and enroll at penny.com. That's PENNIE.com. Deadline is January 15th. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A field goal? That's a no. But a honey butter dinner roll? That's a yes. A 6-pack of abs? Definitely no. But a 6-pack of beer? Uber Eats can get you that. There you have it. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Order now.
Game day just got personal. This season, it's not just about showing up, it's about showing out. And as proud partners of the Philadelphia Eagles, Kendra Scott wants to help you bring your own unique style to the sidelines all season long. Shop exclusive grain and silver jewelry or customize your own look at Color Bar for the ultimate style showdown. Visit your local Kendra Scott store or kendrascott.com today to build your winning look, where team spirit meets personal style.
Monday morning, talking Eagles Commanders. Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie on 94 WIP.
This is the Verizon Pregame Show on Eagles Radio.
Welcome back to the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're live from the Linc today. The Eagles and the Commanders will have an eye on what's going on with all those 425 games coming up. Of course, we know the Eagles right now, the number 3 seed, they could move up to number 2. Let's talk to the guy that will be on the call alongside Mike Wick and Devin Kenney, the voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese. Merrill, how you doing?
I am well. It's actually a cold but beautiful afternoon.
It is, it's not that bad, Merrill. We've had colder ones.
It's pretty cold, yeah.
Yeah. I think we've had colder ones, and we might have some more cold ones.
It ain't as cold as it's been.
Yeah.
Let's not act tough here.
Yeah. Okay. Merrill doesn't think it's that cold. I'm with him. Merrill, let's get to your keys to the game.
Okay, the keys to the game. Here we go. Number one, come out on fire, build a lead in the first half, and get the Commanders focusing on golf vacations in the second half.
Yeah, and they're probably going to be there pretty quickly considering they're 4-12 coming to the game. Merrill, how about key number 2?
Okay, work on improving first down production. The coaches openly admit this has been the Eagles' problem. This is a good opportunity to make strides.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing that's held them back and put them in those second and third and longs all year. It'd be nice to see a game heading into the postseason where that reverses. How about key number 3, Merrill?
Don't let up until the game is locked up. Play fundamentally sound football in all phases from beginning to end. Hopefully, the Eagles find a way to win while the Bears fall to the Lions.
Well, that would be great. That would mean the number 2 seed. Merrill, that would be the ideal, right? Number 2 seed, and we would have the...
I am kind of divided on this. For a week, I've been thinking the best thing would be for that to happen, and then the Eagles to play as the second seed, the Green Bay Packers, as opposed to the Rams and the 49ers. Now I'm starting to think, after watching the game last night, the 49ers look absolutely terrible. They're beaten up. Their defense is just awful. And not that the Packers are great shape, but I don't think one is any better than the other right now. The only difference is if you are the second seed, you get the 2 home games.
And that's a difference. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best possible route. But if not, I'm with you, Merrill. I think we all are. The 49ers, if it comes down to a West team, we'll take our chance with the Niners next week. Merrill, enjoy the game. We'll talk tomorrow on the midday show, and we'll do this again sometime next weekend as we get ready for a playoff game.
Okay, at some time or someday. Okay, yes. Very good.
We'll figure that out. Thank you, Merrill. There he goes, the voice of the Eagles, Merrill Reese.
I do think it's more about that second game than the first one. Like, you do want to avoid the Rams. I think the Rams are the tougher matchup. But between the Packers and Niners, you could convince me somewhat comparable. I would still rather play the Packers. It's more about that second home game, right? It's about not having to travel to Chicago, or I guess potentially Seattle,
about
right?
Chicago thing.
Because if the Bears would be the 2 seed and they win,
well, he doesn't want to.
Oh no, the Eagles would go. Yeah, the
Eagles would go to Chicago.
He don't want to go to Chicago.
But there's no way they would go to Seattle in the second round.
No, they can't. 3 can't play 1.
Right. So it would be Chicago the second round, no matter what.
You don't want to go to Chicago.
If Chicago's a 2.
If they win,
if they beat Green Bay.
If they win.
Yeah, true, right, yeah.
Otherwise, the Eagles will get a second home game anyway.
I pick Green Bay in that game, man. Talking myself into that.
You are.
Green Bay game?
Yeah.
All right, Elliot, you've been teasing a hypothetical for a while, so why don't you hit us with it?
Well, to be clear, this was more during the Tanner discussion.
I know.
Yeah. Well, all right, so let's just talk about it. So Tanner McKee is going to play today. Tanner McKee is someone that we all know they are very high on, someone they think has a bright future. Jalen Hurts is due for a contract extension this offseason. He's not been paid. Would you rather, if this is the hypothetical, would you rather have Tanner McKee and trade Jalen for 3 first-round picks, or keep Jalen and get a second for Tanner? So it's basically Tanner and all those picks versus Jalen and a second.
Wait a minute, are we guaranteeing these 3 first? We guaranteeing these 3 first round draft picks?
I think that's probably what you would get for him. We could debate that.
So
he'd be a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I'm about to ask a stupid question. So these are back-to-back first round draft picks from the team we ever traded to, right?
Yeah.
Like consecutive years.
Right, so you get the Jets like 26,
that's
27,
what I'm about to
and
say.
28 picks. Yeah.
So in reality, say if it's the Jets probably have the propensity to be probably picking in the top 10 for the next.
Well, they'd have
seasons.
Jalen though.
But they had Jalen, but hypothetically,
in the top 10.
I mean, all he does is win.
I was waiting for that line. I was waiting for the Jalen. All Jalen does is win.
I'm the Jets. Yeah.
No one wins.
They have the propensity
Jets,
to be a damn dude.
What?
Three number one plus my pick.
Yeah.
And 3 more.
Yeah.
What about 2?
I'll give you a simple answer. No.
Okay.
That's a lot.
I'm not trading away.
It's hard to find a quarterback.
A franchise quarterback
It is
that's
hard to
already
find a
won me a
quarterback.
Super Bowl who does nothing but win
that's
football games.
That is
That's
disrespectful.
what we
though.
do around here. That's what Jalen does.
And it's disrespectful, but I thought about it,
Not
though.
disrespectful.
So I don't think
it is disrespectful.
I don't think I would do it either.
It
but
is disrespectful.
Hypothetical.
I think Howie would want to.
It's a disrespectful hypothetical. It is disrespectful.
Well, what, forget what we would do. What do you think the Eagles would do?
They would answer the phone. They would answer the phone. I mean, just like I sat here and I entertained.
I don't know.
And you got to cut it. You got to cut another check to Jalen.
Well, you don't think they're gonna answer the phone and listen to that?
Well, first of all, he deserves a pay raise.
I agree. He does.
He deserves a pay raise.
He should have got one last year after he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You think the Eagles are going to extend Hurts off of this season?
Yes!
They should not. Now, I'm fine with rolling back as him as a quarterback next year.
Going back to the Super Bowl,
say that.
Well, that might change some things.
Yes.
All right,
Let's say they win one playoff game.
No.
I will say this.
Yes.
That the quarterback position is the only position where you can have the type of season that Jalen's had.
It's not been that bad.
It ain't been that bad. But
what
the
if
second
I
half.
told you this season has been better than the season that he had last year?
No, but
neither are great.
I would disagree.
No, but here's the thing, though, Ike.
Hold on, what do you mean you disagree, E?
I think Jalen was better last year than he's been this year.
Based on what?
Based off last year, he turned the ball over less. I mean, I thought
he turned the ball over two less times last year.
And also, look, this year's yet to be decided, but he was obviously
for
unbelievable.
him, it's decided. Decided. He's not playing
regular season.
All right. Well, the playoffs matter when you talk about last year. He was unbelievable in those in the conference championship game and
in the Super Bowl. Yes.
Right. So,
but here's the reality.
The defense
of it.
was unbelievable.
Statistically,
so was Jalen.
Statistically, he's if you look at his stats, he's
better
in the
than he was last year.
But he's middling as far as the elite quarterback.
We had the worst passing offense in the league.
Well, but he's part of the reason.
Now
why.
we're 25th.
No.
Wow.
I think the difference is this year they needed more from him. They needed more from him this year, and he didn't give it
for
to
the
him.
money that he's going to ask for.
Yeah.
He's been middling as a quarterback this year.
Yeah.
But to your point, he
I'm
wins football.
going to tell you, I think he was fine until people started complaining about not getting the football, and then they had to change the damn offense, and you make him conscious of where he's throwing the ball versus just going out there to play. He was 8-2. He had 1 interception to 17 touchdowns. And then all of a sudden, we're complaining about how we look winning. We proceed to lose 3 straight games. He turns the ball over 7 times in those 3 games.
Fault.
No, what I'm saying is when they were playing winning football, he was playing well.
So
he had a rough 3-game stretch that coincided with people complaining about not getting the ball. Are we not? We're going to act like that didn't happen.
I don't know about that. I think playing
I
well.
stood up in front of the media and complained he wasn't getting the ball.
But playing well is a stretch.
Because the offense was terrible, though. Like,
playing
it was
well
about
is
AJ.
playing well
The
is a
offense was
stretch.
terrible. It was coming off a stretch of him having a perfect game.
The Minnesota game, he was good.
Yes,
I agree, right.
Yes,
but I'm saying,
hold on.
And then the Giants came after that.
And the Giants game came after that.
Agreed, yes. But I'm
I
saying,
know, but what I'm
Green
saying
Bay,
is after the Minnesota game, I get using me while not using me or something to that effect.
You talking about
complaining.
I
it created a storm around him and the team.
But I guess
did.
The point I'm making, though, is if you look at the Green Bay game, the Detroit game, like the games after
So
that.
what?
But
They
the defense, no, I know,
So
but
what?
the offense wasn't good enough. Like, they needed
Dude,
Jalen to
Seattle
carry the
just
passing
won
game.
13-3 last night.
I agree, and I don't think Seattle's like a clear-cut Super Bowl favorite.
But
Like, that's a weakness.
No,
of
their
theirs.
offense is better than ours. My point is that you'll have a game or two where you're going to win like that. That is just an ugly game.
Right, but what I'm saying is they could not run the ball this year, and they needed more
And
from
that's
the passing
Jalen's
game.
fault?
No, it's not, but Jalen needed to elevate the passing game.
Oh,
like,
man.
Jalen had weeks this year where he did not play well. He held
Sure.
on the ball too long. He missed guys.
Sure.
And they needed him to carry the offense
Sure.
more than he did. That's the point.
That quarterback combos.
But last year they didn't need it from him.
His worst halves of football have come when AJ has complained about not getting the ball.
I agree
Tampa
with you on that.
Bay,
Yes.
the Rams, Denver.
Yes.
Like, that's what happened.
It's part of the equation.
I agree that's part of
Let
it.
me throw this into the
That ain't
conversation.
sticking. We
No,
don't say
I'm
the
saying-
quarterback stink. I'm going to put it all on the table.
No, I'm saying it's not all on him.
The
but
offensive line stunk this year all year long.
But
They can't run the ball.
but he has to play better. Like when you
Sure.
talk about where he is statistically compared to other quarterbacks, he's not lighting it up like.
But
like
he never
should.
has, though, Hugh.
No, he had. You're right, and that's what I said. That's why I say
He was a runner-up MVP with 22 touchdowns and 6
but
interceptions.
that's what I'm saying. When you
Like,
talk
he's
about
never lit up the scoreboard.
you're right.
His legs were a
You're
bigger
right.
part of things
But
then.
but here's the thing: when you talk about paying him the type of money that he's going to ask for,
Well, he's not going to ask for a pay cut.
he's definitely not asking for a pay cut. And his performance, that's pretty bold.
So I think
when you talk about
Man,
where
when
he's
you're a
supposed
franchise
to be,
quarterback and I
I'm
delivered,
not arguing that.
and I delivered a Super Bowl title.
Not arguing that.
And I've delivered a
This
Super
is
Bowl
why
title.
he should have tried to get paid last year.
I agree,
He
Elliot.
deserves
That's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
paid.
I would pay him
not
this
arguing that.
offseason.
Not
would
arguing
pay
that,
him.
but that's
They
a
can't.
bold. That's a bold ass.
You know what I
What are
think?
you going to make Jalen go into next year with a contract he's not
No,
happy
I
with?
mean,
You
I'm
can't
just
do
saying.
that.
I'm not arguing
How
that.
could they pay him off a year where he went down?
But that's a bold
Pay him
ass.
more?
Because the Ice
They have
Point.
to pay all these defensive players.
But-
I'm giving the quarterback a raise?
But that's Ike's point.
I mean, what are we
He's
doing?
He's a franchise quarterback that has won games. And if you look at that's what I'm
Paying
saying.
back $60 million. This guy's won 2
That's
playoff
what I'm
games in
saying.
10 years.
When you look at
15
when you,
years in
They
the
should
league,
pay
he won
him
2
$60 million.
playoff
All right,
games.
hold on.
Dude.
There's 2 parts to the discussion.
Sick of this.
Elliot brought this up, all right? All right, Elliot, the other part to your
You're a
hypothetical
messy
is,
individual,
guys,
dog. You know
what
that?
do we think Tanner McKee is? Obviously, we'll have another.
The future.
What does
Yeah,
that
he's
mean?
a future
Somewhere.
Jet.
Yeah, he might be.
I
When
think
I say the
Tanner-
future,
If
I'm
he's not the guy here, though, this is the time to trade him this offseason.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
he only has 1
Yeah.
year left on his
Yes.
deal. You wait 1 more year, he walks away as a free agent.
Yes.
So today, guys, might be Tanner McKee's last time as an Eagle.
Yes.
If he lights it up, I mean, we're heading towards either double down on Jalen and move off of Tanner
But I'll say
or
this,
the
though,
other
like,
side.
Look, I don't
or
think they're
we
going
had us being messy Monday.
Well, we're
Now
gonna
here's
get
the only
messy
way.
anyway.
Here's the only way you may not give Jalen an extension.
We're gonna be messy.
If they're one and done. If they're one and done,
And the
then,
passing is an issue in the game.
yeah,
next week.
well,
Yeah.
and then you probably don't give him.
So
an
you're going to
extension
say
yet.
no to him?
Well,
Yes.
I'm just saying, if you're the Eagles, you got a legitimate
Well, I'm just
argument
saying,
there.
like, he would have still delivered the Super Bowl. He still would have led them to a ton of wins. Like, I would have a hard time making Jalen go into next year with a contract he's not happy with.
Well, he's not. I don't think like whatever happens this year. I think that's going to be a conversation that's going to be had. If they want it done, the conversation is.
Oh, he's going to ask.
Well, here's
he's
the
definitely
thing.
asking.
If they're one and done, there won't be much public support to give him an
No.
extension.
There won't
No,
be,
it
I
won't
agree.
be. But still, he'll have enough support. But they'll have to think about
But
giving him one.
Yeah, because I'll be yelling it.
Look, I think something we have
And I'll
to
be yelling,
acknowledge in
"No!"
this discussion, though, is that there are people in the
And
Eagles
then
that think
Rod
Tanner
gonna
can
have
be a
us do
franchise
damn round
quarterback.
table and shit we paid Jalen.
There are
No,
people in the
dude.
Eagles that think Tanner can be a
I
franchise
think
quarterback.
it'll be a
Like,
bold ass.
Listen,
though.
I like Tanner.
I do too.
I don't know if he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm just saying
yet.
what I think they
We
really
gonna- we
like
gonna-
Tanner.
But we're gonna overreact to his performance today, tomorrow. We're gonna definitely
That's true.
overreact to it.
That's
It's
true.
like
It-
he go out there and ball out today. We're definitely overreacting.
When you think about Tanner only having 1 year left and Jalen only has 1 year left of guaranteed money, this is the pivot point offseason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We
Yeah.
setting up this whole show for the week. Then
I mean, well, and we also have a playoff game next weekend.
Yeah.
You forget.
Yeah.
Don't
I wonder
forget
how
that.
much we'll discuss that. Yeah.
We'll get to it
The
Tuesday,
playoff-
Wednesday.
Like you're
Eventually,
telling me,
By Wednesday, yeah, we're gonna get to that by
you're
Wednesday.
telling me Howie and Nick are sitting in a room and they got to pay Jalen another contract or trade him for a ton of picks and go with Tanner. I think they would think about it. I'm not saying they do
I
it,
agree with you.
but I think they would think about it.
What?
Why would they think about
Three
that?
Because I think they
first-round
believe in Tanner, and then you're talking about getting a ton of assets for Jalen plus paying
First of all,
Tanner.
Jalen has a
significantly-
no trade clause, so he's not going to some Rudy Poo team.
Right, but he'll have a choice of his place to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is
If I was him, I'd go to Arizona.
It'd be nice
Tyler?
weather, yeah.
Jonathan Gannon going
I
to do
think
that
Pittsburgh.
You got Trey
Pittsburgh.
McBride. You got
you got the young receiver
Marvin
Fitzgerald.
Harrison Jr.
Well, I was about to say
job?
Fitzgerald.
Well, we
Marvin
really
Harrison
workshopped
Jr.
this the whole way through. We even got a destination.
Messy, just a bunch
Well,
of
if they were
messy,
playing their starters today, this wouldn't
just
be a
bunch of
problem.
Elliot, you're right.
messy ass
This
individuals.
is Sirianni's fault.
Yeah,
If
Exactly, yeah.
We'd focus more on the game.
Yeah, exactly.
If Sirianni played the starters,
That's
we
why
wouldn't be
nobody
having this
like
discussion.
y'all. That's why y'all doing stupid
But you're
stuff
the
like
one
this.
that calls in the future every time he
you
comes
got-
up.
no,
Would you trade him for
I-
Dak?
No, don't put.
No,
yeah.
I didn't say when I trade Jackson. No, it was
Elliot, that's
first of all, that's not what I said. I said it was a hypothetical, like we have
love
all the time
hypotheticals,
when we're sitting at a bar talking about
Last
football.
time we did a hypothetical, AJ called up.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah.
Man, Jack was
Well, I'm
nervous.
sure
wasn't
Jack
he?
will have a nice poll ready, depending what happens today.
All right, fellas, before we go any further, let's take a deep breath here. And you know what we got to do? We got to do our fan chant of the game. We have our guy Walk, who's joining us right now, to lead us in an Eagles chant before we get to Elliot's keys on the other side. Walk, welcome to the pregame show. Lead us in an Eagles chant.
Let's go, baby! Zach Ertz will always be ours!
That's
That was
good energy.
good.
That's
There you
good
go.
energy. Good job,
There you
Walk.
go. Good way to end the year.
That might be our best one of the season. I like that one. All right, coming up.
He had the right cape. He's
Yeah,
still going.
that was awesome. All right, ESP's Three
impressed.
Keys coming up. This is the Eagles Radio Network presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Go Gonna dig a hole in your backyard? Call 811, don't be caught off guard, cause PA1 calls got your back to help locate those utilities stacked.
Play it safe and do your part so no one in the neighborhood's house goes dark.
But if you don't, and there's an outage, you might have to deal with some screams and shoutage. Cause ain't nothing worse when your toilet won't flush, your lights go out,
Or when your pipes bust.
Yeah, your neighbors are gonna love you. Know what's below? Call 811 before you dig. Help us hit 50 and 5. More at PA1call.org.
This is Mike Quick. PDQ POS is the MVP of point-of-sale solutions. Easy to use with the best support in the industry. And it doesn't take a bite out of your sales with costly fees. It's the choice of all concept food service businesses across the country. PDQ POS has real-time analytics and insights to evaluate your team and your play calling. PDQ POS has been rated the #1 point of sale by restaurant owners for more than 35 years. So don't wait. Make the switch. PDQ POS today. Visit pdqpos.com.
You know that feeling when you finally just let go? At Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa, that's what membership is all about. And right now, start with a free facial gift card with a new membership. It's the perfect way to get more time to unwind, more room to breathe, and moments that are actually yours. As a member, you get exclusive rates, plus benefits that roll over month to month. So visit your local Hand & Stone Spa to join today and go to handandstone.com.
It's football season. Time to fire up the grill and bring your A game to the tailgate. Whether it's delicious Hatfield bacon to kick off your day or tender, juicy marinated pork tenderloin sizzling for halftime, Hatfield's got your menu covered for every fan feast. From the coin toss to the final whistle, Hatfield brings bold flavor to every play. Find your game day favorites at simplyhatfield.com. Hatfield, better care, better pork.
Hugh Douglas here. It's playoff season. The hits get harder, the nights get colder, and the stakes, well, they get a little higher. But some things don't change, like the slow pour of Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey over ice. Jack Daniel's and playoff football go hand in hand. So make sure you pick you up a bottle at your local fine wine and good spirits stores. Try out the Tennessee Honey, Fire Apple, or the new Blackberry flavor. And don't forget classic old number 7 Black Label. Celebrate responsibly.
Just like our offensive line protects our star quarterback, plumbers protect the health of the nation. And Philadelphia Plumbers Union Local 690 is no different. In hospitals, commercial, industrial, and residential, with the best trained plumbers in the world, you can be sure your project is done on time and on budget, no matter how big or small. So when your business needs to build new or expand existing facilities, you can count on the members of Plumbers Union Local 690. Visit plumbers690.org.
This Eagles season, get in the game in Acme and enter their Swoop In and Win sweepstakes for your chance to win Eagles tickets, autographed jerseys, helmets, or more. Download the Acme app or visit acmemarkets.com/swoop in and win for more details. Plus, save 5% when you shop on game days wearing your Eagles apparel. Acme makes sure Eagles fans have all their game day needs. Don't miss the featured football deal of the week. Clip the digital offer for Quaker cereal oats or oatmeal, just $1.99 each. Acme, the official supermarket of the Philadelphia Eagles.
In Philly, the field is sacred, the fans are family, and the energy unmatched. And Lincoln Financial gets it. Since 2003, we've stood with the Eagles through brotherly love and brotherly shoves. And for 120 years, we've been helping Americans with retirement, protection, and workplace solutions built to last. Lincoln Financial, the name behind the Linc. Learn more at lincolnfinancial.com. Lincoln Financial is the marketing name for Lincoln National Corporation and affiliates, copyright 2025.
Hey, it's Devontae Smith. Hear me scoring touchdowns all season long, right here on 94 WIP.
You're listening to the Verizon Pregame Show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Verizon Pregame Show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner.
All right, now the party people coming up in here now.
Eagles are 4:25. That's when it all starts to play out today, the 4 o'clock window.
Hey.
You good over there?
No, no disrespect to the people that are here. But you can tell the folks that ain't been to too many football games.
It's a different kind of crowd.
No, I'm just saying.
It's a real football guy game today.
Yeah,
to be out of this one, you got to be a real football
This
guy.
is the love of the game.
You can tell the ones that don't get too many football games.
Yeah, next week will be a different crowd. That's for sure for a playoff game.
Definitely.
All right. You know what? Let's do a little special ESP's 3 Keys. We're going to look ahead here to the postseason. The keys to the game, the keys to the postseason are brought to you by United Tire. For the best tire price anywhere, don't drive alone, drive United.
3 keys with ESP.
You going to start up here?
Go,
Okay.
go.
All right, number one. Yeah. So I think the number one.
Throw it off a little
well,
bit.
normally he gets it going.
Yeah, it's
but,
my fault. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So number one.
I'm resting for the postseason.
Right, exactly. For the Eagles to make a deep postseason run, number one, Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens need to start playing like Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens again. You look at the play they've gotten from them this year. Obviously, the eyes test tells us they haven't been as good. But let's just talk about Landon Dickerson. Last year, according to Pro Football Focus, he was the 8th best guard in the NFL. This year, 31st. You look at run blocking, 7th best last year, 28th this year. Pass protection, 22nd last year, 49th this year. And I know that's Pro Football Focus, but the eye test tells us that. The interior of the line has not been good enough this year. And for them to make a deep postseason run, they're going to have to run the ball. And to run the ball, they need better play up the middle. So if you told me going into the playoffs, 2 players that could get back to what they were last year, I would pick Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson.
All right, let's talk about this part of it. Do you guys think 1 week is going to make them feel differently? Because I feel like it's pretty obvious they haven't been physically right, either of them this season, right?
Yeah.
Cam had the back issue at the end of last year, back surgery. Landon got hurt in training camp. I thought he kind of rushed back, and I don't think he's ever been the same.
Yep.
Is a week enough? Is this week enough to give them a little boost entering the postseason?
I think so. He will tell you, man, that extra week of just resting your body, certainly in that first game back, gives you a little bit more of a boost. And then you're back to just where you were, just playing football every week. But, yeah, I think it does versus not having the rest. Because here's the thing. Even if they were to play today and make it out of the game, they've still beat their bodies up today.
Yeah.
Sure. So you're not resting the body.
Well, and it's a lighter week of practice for you. Like, I think mentally they're going to get a week off, but you look at why this team has struggled this year. I think an inability to run the ball up the middle has really hurt them, especially late in games. We've talked a lot even today, but throughout the week, throughout the last month on WIP, about how the defense is out on the field way too much. And part of the reason for that is the offense can't sustain drives. Against Buffalo last week, they had a crucial drive where the Bills had just scored, the offense got the ball back. They killed like a minute off the clock and had a negative 2-yard run on the first run of the game. I think they're still pretty good, or at least better, at running to the perimeter. I think Mailata, and then when Lane's been out there, has played well. The up-the-middle running game is what's really hurting them. And from a pass protection standpoint, I think Jalen's actually done a good job this year dealing with pressure. But I thought against Buffalo, the pass protection in the second half
terrible.
up the middle was not good, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's about, I think Landon and Cam have the talent, obviously, to be great players. But now that it's playoff time, they really need them to get back to that.
Well, the common denominator, it feels like, in all these blown leads or almost blown leads is they have a lead and they can't run the ball to finish the game. Right, the Denver game, the Dallas game. It even kind of happened against Detroit, but they got away with it, right?
Well, and the other
it happened against last week.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the same. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a game. I don't know if it's next Sunday, if it's Sunday after that, where they're up 10. But, Elliot, it goes back to your point on the NFC quarterbacks, right? Like, I agree. Other than Bryce Young, they're all decent, right? Like, whether Jalen's better or not, like, none of them are so bad that you're up 10 and you can just take your foot off the gas.
Right.
Any of them could score 10 points and a half. So, to your point on the offensive line, they need to run the clock out to finish these games.
Well, and the other thing I would say, too, is last night when we watched San Francisco and Seattle physically dominated the Niners, right? That they looked honestly a lot like the Eagles did last year, right? The way they won that game.
Yeah.
And I think part of getting back to being the way the Eagles played last year is dominating on the offensive line. The defensive line will dominate physically. We've seen them do that. We know they can do it. The offensive line, I think, needs to get back to being bullies. And Landon, look, we do the players' lounge with him every week, or almost every week. Like, he is a big part of that team's personality. Cam is a big part of that team's personality. I think getting elite play out of them will just change the whole attitude of the offense. They can go back to pushing guys around and being bullies, as opposed to this year, too often, probably getting pushed back.
Bro, I never thought we'd get to a point where I would say we can't run a tush push anymore.
Well, that's the other part of it, too.
That's crazy.
Can't run a tush push
That was our
anymore.
thing.
And think of what a crucial play that is, too, right? The tush push on third down, first down. The fact they can't go to it has also hurt the offense, and it's helped. And it's prevented them from sustaining drives. So, yeah, I mean, Cam and Landon, absolutely, they are key players in the offseason.
All right, how about key number 2, Elliot?
All right, so number 2 for me. There you go, perfect timing. They got to be better on first down. This is an offense that too often is putting itself behind the sticks, and the numbers back it up. They are 26th in the NFL on yards on first down. And then to make it worse, when they get to second down, they're 18th. So when they put themselves, it's better, but it's still putting themselves behind the hole. If you look at when they get positive plays on first down, when they can get 4 yards, 5 yards, the offense actually moves the ball. They talk so much about staying on schedule.
Yeah.
And if they can get going on first down, this offense is actually pretty good. Their problem this year has been when they're behind the sticks, they're unable to dig their way out of it. And part of it, again, is because they can't run the ball. So to get it going in the playoffs, to get the offense moving, you have to be better on first down. It allows them to get into hurry up. It allows them to get more complex with what they can do. They can go under center, all those things. But when you find yourself in 2nd and 13, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, it's really hard to keep the offense going.
Yeah, and that's why they've been a bigger issue with the offense than Jalen has.
I agree with that.
Well, so this has been a problem all year, right?
Yep.
Nothing's changed.
Yep.
Should they throw the ball more early?
Nope.
Okay, but
Yes.
Nope.
Well, to that point, so the Eagles are also 26 in the NFL in average running yards on first down.
Well, that's the point I was trying
Last
to make.
thing we need to do is throw the ball more. No.
But all right,
Okay, will you say?
but there shouldn't be most negative plays in the passing game. The run game's going backwards.
Right, and Jalen's been
right.
good
The
at
pass
not
game could
taking
be a
sacks
2nd and
this year.
10 if it's incomplete,
Yeah.
but
Well,
could also
this,
be a
this has been
2nd and 5.
This has been my thought about in order for the running game to open up, you have to be able to throw the ball with more efficiency. And I know exactly what I can say when he's talking about not throw the ball, but we need to be more efficient.
Okay, yeah.
Throwing the football.
All right.
You know what I mean? I understand exactly where you're
what's
coming
our
from.
record when he throws?
No,
for
I
over 200
get.
yards?
They haven't won a game.
Listen,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, but we have to be more
I
efficient.
agree. I agree with that. We need to be more efficient. No, I'm with you
But
there.
I would also say, and we haven't talked about him a ton today yet, but like Kevin Patullo also needs to be better, I will say, on second down. Like too often when this
I agree.
offense,
You just can't give up on the
yeah,
series.
but too often when they're behind the sticks, they almost throw their hands up like, well, that's that.
Yeah.
If
We'll
you
get 'em
look-
next time.
If you look at the Niners, the Niners are also bad on first down, but they're 8th in the league in points because on second down they are much better than the Eagles are. So I think it's on the players. The players have to play better. They have to play better. But Patullo and Sirianni have to give them a better opportunity on these 2nd and 3rd and longs, other than just kind of throw their hands up and say, well, we're going to punt it and let the defense play well. I think that is on the coaching, that after first down doesn't go well, they have to be better. But the other part of that is the penalties, right? Like, this has been a sloppy team this year. They, I think, are dead last in the NFL, or first, depending how you want to look at it, in penalties, right? Like, they are penalized a ton. The other teams they'll play, the Rams, fewest penalties. The Niners, second fewest penalties. So when we talk about first down, it's not just about execution. It's also about not getting penalties to put yourself behind the scenes.
Well, and those penalties, that if they have to go on the road for 2 playoff games, those are going to be huge, right? The offensive line stuff, the pre-snap stuff. I mean, it's going to be loud in Chicago, and then Seattle has long been talked about as one of the most difficult places to play for offensive linemen. So
also, you know what else would
those
help?
are huge.
Get to the line of scrimmage with less than 3 seconds to go on the clock.
Well, now you're asking for a lot here, Elliot.
They've been trying to work on this all year and can't do it. The defensive linemen are able to tee off on the offensive linemen because they know the ball is about to be snapped. When you're snapping it with 1 second to go, it's easy. I'm sure Hugh could talk about this as an edge player. Like, if you know when the ball is going to be snapped, that advantage
Every
is
play
massive.
was a pass play when I was on the field, Elliot.
That's a good point.
They throwing the
actually.
ball
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the time.
You weren't worried about holding up for the run too
3rd
much.
and 1,
Yeah.
he rushing the pass.
Rushing the pass, like, what the hell's wrong
You
with
didn't
that
get
guy?
paid to stop the run. All right, Elliot, how about key number 3?
So number 3, if the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, it'll be like last year. It'll be because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen needs to be special in the
would you stop
postseason.
it?
Last year, Jalen was special in the postseason. When
No,
he
he
had,
wasn't.
yes, he
Well,
absolutely
in the
was
last 2
special.
games. Special in the first 2 games.
He was special in those first 2 games.
Oh,
he didn't turn it
stop.
over. What, they went up 10-0 because he threw a touchdown pass, and then
he got sacked 7 times in a safety.
it was
7.
snowing. He outplayed
still
Stafford. in
won.
that
It was
game.
snowing?
It was, yeah, I was there. It was snowing. Everyone was there. You tell me the snow
7
didn't impact
sacks and a
him?
safety because of the snow.
He had a 45-yard touchdown run to start the
did.
game.
So
So
that
that
was
counts
a
too.
snowing.
That was a
That
great
counts
play.
too, right?
That did count.
There are going to be 7 to 10 plays this postseason where they need Jalen to be special. And if he does it, they will win the Super Bowl again. Last year against Washington, 4th and 2, end of the first half, close game. He hits AJ with a perfect pass down the sideline. They get points. That game starts to be a blowout. The dagger, the game, the play that
Oh,
won
that
them
dagger
the Super
didn't
Bowl.
do anything.
The
It
play
was
that ended the Super
27-0
Bowl
already.
The dagger that ended the Super Bowl
That
was
game
Jalen.
was over in the first half.
Then why do they call it the dagger?
I don't know
Because
they
Kevin
did
Because it ended the
Hart
Super
called it
Bowl.
that.
Why do you think they called it that? Because they ended the Super Bowl. Nick Sirianni himself said that. So if they win the Super Bowl again, it'll be because of the Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. He has to be special in the playoffs. I'm trying to tell him.
Can I give you a different word?
No.
The dagger.
Well, I'm going to try. He needs to be more consistent. I don't need special.
No. He needs to be special.
No.
Special.
You heard it.
What they
Special.
can't have is full halves with 0 passing yards and escape a playoff game.
Agreed. That would not be special if he had a whole half.
I guess we agree on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That would not be special.
But they will go as far as Jalen takes them. Last year he took them to the Super Bowl. This year he's going to have to.
We're
going to
go as far as the defense.
No, they'll go as far
we're
as Jalen
talking.
takes
Now
them.
we're
As far as the
Jalen.
defense takes us, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, Jalen has to be the reason they win. If it is 17-13,
He wasn't the reason they won the Super Bowl. The defense was.
I think he was the reason that they won the Super Bowl last year.
Who's
Oh,
the MVP?
Elliot,
He's the
come
most,
on.
he's
Who's
the
the
most
MVP of the
important
Super Bowl?
player on the field.
Who's
He's
the
the most
MVP?
important player on the field. He's the
Taylor
Super
Hurts.
Bowl MVP.
He was the Super
He
Bowl
touches
MVP.
the
Could've been
ball
Josh-
on
could've
every
been
Well,
Josh
it could
Sweat.
have been me,
But it wasn't Josh Sweat.
but it wasn't.
It was Jalen.
When Zach Bond made the interception before halftime,
Yes.
Yes.
they could
Could've-
have
but
handed
it
the ball
wasn't.
off for the next 2 hours.
But
they
it
won the
wasn't.
game.
It wasn't
The
none of
defense
them.
played well. I agree.
They could
but-
have handed
yes.
every snap off for 2
They
hours
weren't going to
and
win
walked
the
away.
game with no points. Jalen was awesome in the Super
Well,
Bowl.
we scored 7 on defense.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, they weren't going to win 7-0 either.
They might. If the game wasn't a blowout, you think the Chiefs were scoring as many points they did?
They
Look,
would have
call the
scored
dog
if they put in the backups. That's the
The
only reason
defense
the
was
Chiefs
awesome.
scored.
Jalen
That's
was
the only reason the
also
defense
awesome,
scored.
and he was better in the championship game. The defense wasn't outstanding in the championship game. They were good in the championship
Oh,
game.
they lost. They caused
Turnovers.
turnovers.
Jalen was. What do you have? 4 passing touchdowns? Yeah. Every other team wins because of their quarterback. The Eagles win because of their quarterback.
Now
That's how it goes.
now you
Well,
get
then
it.
that means you got to blame him when they lose.
I do blame them when they lose.
Hey.
Well, that's because you agree with them, Hugh. That's-
And the
I'm just
Giants
saying.
are about to play their way out of the number 2.
They're not winning the Super Bowl with an
They
elite
win today?
defense and an average
They're winning
quarterback.
right now.
Oh, the Giants winning. You know what, Harp? I will say this. My son.
I mean,
picked
Elliot's in the middle of
Giants to win
keys here,
today.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, let me
I'm
ask
sorry.
you this:
These are so long.
Would you rather? Well, we got a lot of time. They're not playing no starters. Would you rather have an elite defense in the postseason or an elite quarterback?
Elite quarterback.
Elite quarterback.
Elite defense.
All right.
Nah, I think you got to go with the quarterback.
Defense.
Well, from what I know, I've heard Josh Allen is elite. I've heard Lamar Jackson is elite.
But they haven't been in the postseason.
They have. What do you mean they haven't been in the postseason?
Allen has been.
Well, elite
They
is
both
elite.
have been in the postseason.
No, they have not played elite. In
Allen
the
has
postseason.
played
no,
elite.
my point is you asked me for an
He had
elite
one elite
defense or an elite quarterback. And
Yes.
my point was going to be I've seen elite quarterbacks go home. The only elite quarterback making it to the Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes.
But he to me he's in a class by himself.
But what about all the other elite guys?
I ain't never said that Josh Allen was elite.
I'm
But
just saying,
also, like-
I'm just saying they are elite,
No.
and they still go home.
No,
Those
they're
elite
very, very
quarterbacks
good.
carry them into the postseason. You're
They're
right.
And they
very
go
good.
home.
No, I know, but it's still ultimately a team
And
game.
they go home. No,
Yes,
but
agreed.
you asked me what
Yeah.
what would I prefer?
Okay.
Give me the elite defense that shuts down offenses, and give me an okay quarterback that doesn't hurt him and turn the ball over. That elite quarterback nonsense doesn't really get you to the Super Bowl.
So I think elite
when I
quarterback.
think of elite my fault, Elliot,
No,
but when
go
I
for
think
it.
of elite quarterbacks, do you know what I think about? Immediately comes to mind.
Who?
Is a minute and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
And you got that cat out there on the field, and you're afraid, and the ball's on his 20.
Yeah.
And you're afraid about what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Ain't too many of those cats out there.
I
Patrick
agree with
Mahomes,
that.
All
one
right,
of
how
them.
about this? Would you rather
Patrick Mahomes, one of
would
them.
you rather have the Eagles with the ball with 1:20 to play and needing a touchdown, or the other offense is on the field and they're trying to score a touchdown?
Other
They're
Going
offense
against
on
our
the field.
defense?
Going
Yeah.
against our
Of course our defense.
I'm going to go with our defense on
Stanley
that
What
one.
is wrong with you?
They almost blew it last
Are you
week.
kidding me?
Look at the offense. How's about to try?
The Eagles' defense has not been that good situationally. They haven't
I'm
been.
with you. I'm
They
with you on
haven't
that
been.
one, big dog. I'm
They've
with
been
you on
hung
that
out to dry by an
I'm gonna go
offense
ahead.
who
Went down
can't
the
get a
field.
first
I'm
down.
going
Bill
roll
went down
with
the
this
field.
defense.
Earlier this year, the Cowboys went down
Why,
the field.
though,
I would
Elliot?
rather have the ball in Jalen's hands.
Wore him out all day.
It is what it is. I would rather have the ball in Jalen's hands.
You see that hat,
Elliot,
man?
the Eagles' offense, you saw what happened when the ball was in his hands in Los Angeles. He threw a
not
pick.
your hat. Their hat.
Yeah, he also got him all the way down the field. It was a fluke that interception happened. It was a fluke.
Not the
it was a fluke. Did you think they were going to win that game?
No.
Of course you did. You're
No, I
lying.
didn't.
You're telling me when they were at the 15, you didn't think they were going to win? Yeah, you're lying.
I did not.
You thought he was going to throw an interception?
I didn't know interception, but
All
I
right,
didn't
so
think
you thought
they
they
were
were
going
going to win then. Yeah. I would rather have the ball in
nothing
Jalen's
happened that game that would make you think they were
He was
gonna
terrible.
win that game.
He wasn't terrible. The offense was pretty good
All
in
right,
that
so
game.
in today you've told me he was good with a 45% completion and not terrible with five
Let
interceptions.
Elliot live his
I told
truth.
you he outplayed Josh Allen last week, which he did. He did. He did outplay Josh Allen last week.
Ain't nobody arguing that.
Yeah, at least for a half anyway.
Ain't
Well, for
nobody
the whole
arguing
game.
that.
Well, Josh Allen went up against the
outplayed him in
Eagles
the
defense.
second half.
No,
Well,
that
but
second half.
Jalen never makes the play that costs him the game outside the Chargers game. But I'm saying
So the never we can't use.
said outside the
It
Chargers.
just
I
happened
mean,
a few weeks ago.
mostly never. Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah, mostly never.
I'd rather the defense on the field to finish the game.
I'll take the ball
I love
in
these
Jalen's
conversations. These are riveting. They're always great.
Speaking
Always
of
great
riveting, our
conversations.
predictions for today coming up next. We will hit that on the other side, and we'll look at what's going on in the NFL, including the draft potentially changing here, and what's going on at 425. This is, of course, the Eagles Radio Network presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Hey, Eagles fans, Verizon's kicking off big savings, scoring a touchdown with low prices locked in for 3 years guaranteed on my plan. Get a single line for a low price of just $50 a month when you switch and bring your phone on unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. It's a deal that'll have you doing an end zone dance. Don't get flagged for high prices. Huddle up at your local Verizon store today. You'll be tackling savings in no time. Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. $20 monthly credit applied over 36 months. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms apply. See store for details.
Quality is very important here at the North Pole. You see, I check my list once, twice, all done.
Well, Santa, quality's important to us at Nissan, too. We actually test every model thousands of times. There's the frame twist test, shaker test, corrosion test, drive load test, tug-of-war test, towing test, off-roading test, practical strength test, splash test, corrugated road test, chassis dynamics test, water intrusion test, extreme heat test, extreme cold test, rough road test, jump test, curb impact test. And physical parts tests.
Save on J.D. Power's #1 mainstream brand in new vehicle quality at the Nissan year-end event. Get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, 2025 Murano or Pathfinder for well-qualified buyers. For J.D. Power 2025 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2025 model year. Example: 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to NMAC credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 1/5/26.
Roto-Rooter. Plumbing problem? No match for a little DIY duct tape. Shoot, hold on. Nope. There we go. No match for a little... dang it, wait. Duct tape and a wrench. Leaks are no match for duct tape and a wrench. And a bucket and a towel, more duct tape, a hammer, this random tube I found in the basement, another bucket, more tape, a little more tape. Perfect. On second thought, maybe leave plumbing to the pros at Roto-Rooter.
And away go troubles down the drain.
Operating engineers are the men and women that move mountains. And the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, ELEC, puts them to work. They create opportunities for the men, women, and union signatory contractors of Local 825, repaving our roads, keeping our homes bright and warm, and even building our favorite team stadium. We understand infrastructure. That's why ELEC and Local 825 are ready to get to work.
In this town, champions aren't born, they're built on the field and in care settings across the region. Brandon Graham here to tell you the Philadelphia Eagles and Jefferson Health are teaming up because they know precision matters, because every moment counts, and because care isn't just about what happens on game day, it's about showing up every day for every person in every neighborhood. We're one team with one goal, to care for this community together. Jefferson Health, champions of care.
This Eagles season, get in the game at Acme and enter their Swoop In and Win sweepstakes for your chance to win Eagles tickets, autographed jerseys, helmets, or more. Download the Acme app or visit acmemarkets.com/swoopinandwin for more details. Plus, save 5% when you shop on game days wearing your Eagles apparel. Acme makes sure Eagles fans have all their game day needs. Don't miss the featured football deal of the week. Flip the digital offer for Quaker cereal oats or oatmeal, just $1.99 each. Acme, the official supermarket of the Philadelphia Eagles.
In Philly, we go all out for what we believe in. And at Lincoln Financial, we're no different. Since 2003, we've been proudly flying alongside Eagles fans everywhere. Since 1905, we've been helping Americans with retirement, protection, and benefit solutions built to last. 120 years in, and just like the birds, we have no plans on slowing down. Lincoln Financial, the name behind the Linc. Lincoln Financial is the marketing name for Lincoln National Corporation and affiliates. Copyright 2025.
Breaking down this Eagles-Commanders game tomorrow on the afternoon show, 2 to 6, right here on 94 WIP.
This is the Verizon pregame show on Eagles Radio.
Welcome back to the Verizon pregame show, sponsored by Verizon, the official 5G partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Are coming up. We will hand it off in a few minutes to Merrill and Mike and Devin for the call of this game. All right, we will get to our predictions, including how we think Tanner McKee is going to play. But first, let's look around the NFL. What's going on in the 1 o'clock games? Obviously, how it affects the playoff field.
What we got in the 1 o'clock?
Well, it looks like up 19-10 with 2:52 to go. It looks like the Falcons are going to not beat the Saints, which means the Carolina Panthers, even with the loss yesterday, will win the NFC South.
No, the Panthers lost yesterday.
Oh, the Panthers lost.
No, Carolina will win the South.
No,
Panthers
because of the Atlanta game, because Atlanta won.
No, I was saying the Bucks won last night, though.
Yeah, the Bucks.
Yes, yeah.
Bucks won that game last night?
Yes, it was controversial ref calls.
So just to keep everyone in the loop.
Ton of rain in that game,
It
too.
was a lot
You
of
have
rain.
to wonder, if it was a dome, how that would have played
see.
out. Yeah.
Let me see.
Let's put all
really
stadiums
makes
in
you
domes.
wonder.
It does not make you wonder. It does
makes me wonder.
You saying the Falcons winning, right?
Falcons are up 19-10. So
the
here's
Jaguars, so me and my son made some money today.
Oh, you got a little parlay going?
Parlays.
All right, so while he was looking at the parlay, here's the scenario. If the Falcons finish the game, they're up 19-10, 2:52 to go. It's a three-way tie in the South, and the Panthers win the tiebreaker. They are the division champion. If the Saints come back and win, then the Bucks are the champion of the South. So so it looks like right now it's going to be Carolina as the 4 seed in the NFC playoffs. Boy, that division, Ike, stinks.
I'd rather see the Panthers in, and check this out. Here's why. That means we don't play Tampa next year. We play the Panthers.
That's a good point.
Oh, that's right, for the first time in a while. Let's be done with that.
Because they are the division winners.
Yes.
Bryce Young
so
versus
we wouldn't
Jalen.
get Tampa. We wouldn't get Tampa.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, the other thing, this is the opposite end of the spectrum at the 1 o'clock games. The Giants, who last week beat the Raiders, but they were going to be the number 2 pick in the draft, it looks like they're going to drop down to like 7 or 8 now because they're beating the crap out of the Cowboys.
What a disaster.
34-17. A total disaster.
What a disaster.
What the hell? First of all, what are the Giants doing?
Right. Give the Eagles credit. The one time
Yeah, what
they
the hell
had
are
to
they
tank,
doing?
they tanked. Like the
Well,
one time.
It wasn't seamless.
I'm saying in the
though,
final
yes.
game. Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
It was
seamless.
awkward.
Well, they
it was
did pull
awkward.
Jalen
Doug,
to
get
make it
Jalen out of
happen.
the game.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
fired anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that set the Eagles up.
Is Dak playing the whole game?
Yeah.
I haven't looked. Every time I looked.
Dak's playing the whole game and they're losing.
No,
30?
no. Joe Milton has thrown more passes.
Okay, they pulled Dak.
Maybe the Cowboys were tanking for a draft pick.
Hold up. Can I get a non-game related question
Yeah,
out to you? All right. So Devontae Smith is 44 yards short of 1,000 yards, right?
Yeah.
It seems like he might play today.
Well, he should.
How can you play Devontae after you didn't let Saquon get the record last year?
I agree.
Like, that to me is crazy. I know that the offensive line had to play, but to put Devontae out there and risk his health when the whole thing is health, the whole thing is rest, 1,000 yards, like, props to him. He's an elite receiver. Let's not act like he's setting some franchise record. 1,000 yards. I think it's crazy to put him out there today. If you're going to rest guys, rest them. And if I'm Saquon, I would sit there and go, why did I have to sacrifice a record last week or last year when Devontae gets to play for 1,000 yards?
Well, I mean, listen, we did everything we could do to get AJ to 1,000 yards.
In games where other guys were playing.
I'm just saying, though, Devontae, for 2/3 of this season, was the best wide receiver on this team.
Yeah, let him feed.
I agree.
And would have had over 1,000 yards already if somebody wasn't complaining.
I agree.
And so he deserves to be over 1,000.
But all we heard when Saquon sat was, we have bigger goals. We have bigger goals.
I'm with you.
I agree with you. Listen, you know I wanted Saquon to play
I
last
did too.
year.
It doesn't
I
add
did
up.
too, yeah.
It does remind me, though, 2021, Sirianni's first year here.
He did it.
They went for the rookie record,
but they weren't
right?
Super Bowl contenders that year.
Well,
They're Super Bowl
But
contenders.
still, they were
this
going
year.
to the playoffs.
They were, but this year they can legitimately say we have bigger goals. Like, they are clearly risking Devontae so
I
he
agree.
can top 1,000 yards.
You're right, Elliot.
That seems crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, let's hope
Thank
he
you.
gets it and get out of there.
It doesn't add up. I think
I
you're
agree.
right.
No, I agree.
They're going to feed him in the first half. and then
Yeah,
he's
they're
gonna
going
be
to get him. Well, he's going to get the first 5 passes.
Well, if I'm Washington too, like there's only one player I'm guarding on that. You know where the ball, where they're trying to go with the ball.
Yep, for sure. All right, one more quick thing before we get to predictions here. Well, 2 more. One, Myles Garrett is the all-time single
Did he
season.
get it?
He got it.
He got it.
He got it. The sack record belongs to Myles Garrett.
Well deserved, man.
Yeah, because the
He's a
straight
beast.
hand shouldn't have had it anyway.
Well, that was a joke. When Favre
Yeah,
took
but
a
the
dive.
fact he did it on such a trash team really kind of negates the record, in my opinion.
For sacks?
He does,
No, it
yes.
doesn't.
Like
Nah.
he re-signs with the Browns, and every week he goes, "Oh, like we lost, but I played well. Who cares?" Like you signed up for this, man.
Well, that's
Like,
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a great record, I guess. But I don't know. It's nothing like Saquon last year.
Do you think the extra game has kind of takes a little of the shine away? It took him a full 17 games, right?
Yeah, I hear you. It does.
but
It doesn't
boy,
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it
doesn't
is what
for
it
me.
is. Yeah.
Well,
it
he
is
was
what it
getting
is.
after it, though.
Because all the records are going to get broken.
Well, that's
that
true.
way.
Yeah. Eventually, they're all.
Yeah.
We'll be used to 17 games
Well,
eventually.
wait till they go to 18.
Well,
Yeah, wait until we're out here in a dome in week 24.
That don't think it.
It's
sound like
March
Elliot.
7th, final
Sound
week
like-
of the regular season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what
thing.
the weather is. We've been inside since
The combine
August.
will be in April.
I won't have a problem with that, though. I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie.
come on, Hugh.
I'm just saying, man, because my feet cold.
Yeah, my feet are cold too. Yeah,
My feet cold.
I wore thick socks and everything.
Cold than a Mickey Flicky.
You know, every game will look the same. You recognize that.
It'll be
I'm okay
beautiful
with that.
It won't. It
football
will be
weather.
sanitized.
And
Yeah.
when we
It won't-
walk outside, when we put our hat, we take our hats off, put them back on, and walk outside with our coats and get the valet coat rack or whatever. I'm okay with all of that.
Yeah, of course you are. All right, that is that is it for what's going on around the league. Jaguars, by the way, win the AFC South. Texans are going to be a wild card in that division.
They'll be
Everything
playing
else,
at 4 o'clock Saturday.
yes, everything else is 425, including the Lions and Bears. All right, before we get to predictions on the Eagles, who wins, Lions or Bears?
I think the
I'm
Bears.
hoping the Lions,
I think
but
the Bears
I think
win.
the Bears.
I think the
win.
Bears. Hugh?
Are the Lions
Bears.
inactives out? I saw
The
like
Bears.
Panay
I'm sure they are.
Sewell and Amon St. Brown, and that might not.
Are they?
play.
Are they? I mean,
I
if,
don't
they're,
know.
if those guys are inactive, then they're
Right,
not.
yeah.
They're not trying to win the game. I mean, that would tell me that. All right, let's do it. Predictions on the game today. Hugh Douglas, the future, according to you, starting a quarterback. What do you got?
Listen, man, and I know what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
Might be a little. It
Is
might
he
be a
going
little
to pick more than
controversial.
21 points?
You know it.
You said the Steelers.
I was like, well, I feel like today that it's gonna be they're gonna open up the offense a little bit. I want to hear what Tanner's gonna. I want to see what Tanner's gonna do. So I'm thinking 28-17 Eagles.
28-17 Eagles. I
Yeah.
need the stat line for Tanner McKee. We got to do that.
Oh, we were on the stat line.
Yeah.
Oh, I picked it for what? 140 plus. So I'm saying he's gonna throw for like 200 yards,
200
3
yards.
tutties.
3 tutties.
That's
oh boy.
light.
Oh boy. All right, Elliot, what do you got today?
That's about
Yeah,
right.
I feel good about them today. I think Tanner will play well. He always plays well when he goes out there. I think they'll move the ball. Big game from Darius Cooper today. Him and Tanner had good chemistry in training camp. I think the Eagles win the game 28-14.
I like it.
So we about in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah. All right, I'll go next. We'll leave Ike for last. I think the Eagles are going to win as well, 31-17.
Like it.
Tanner McKee,
That's what I was
20
thinking.
of 26, 240, 2 scores. Eagles
like
win
it.
easy.
Any
I like
interceptions?
No picks.
No picks.
I like that.
Ike Reese, what do you
like it.
got?
I'm going 31-13 Birds. Tanner McKee, 270. 3 touchdown passes. Darius Cooper scores 2. Tank Bigsby gets a touchdown today. All of those are a part of my parlay. So let's go Birds.
There it is.
There we go.
All right,
Cheering
fellas,
for
it's been a heck of a
parlay.
regular season, but this thing's not over yet. We're back here. We don't know when yet. It's either Saturday or Sunday next